Hey y'all, I'm Ada K. And I must confess, I'm a trial junkie. I enjoy viewing trials as if I was the seated juror. So grab a cup of java, get comfy, and join me as we hop into court. And don't forget to comment, like, and most importantly, subscribe. And if you're really enjoying the channel, please join our membership.
Is my mic any better at all?
Yeah, you are a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. It was trying to go off of something else. I don't know why.
Welcome,
Alternate juror,
everybody.
your
We're
baby
trying
is so
something
cute.
new.
Oh, that's my granddaughter.
We're trying to do
Thank
a
you.
Discord panel,
I don't know if everybody
and I'm
knows
going
this or
to
not. I have
share
a new
screen,
grandson.
and hopefully you guys can hear them.
They're so fun.
Let's see.
He's the
I need
best.
to see if you guys can hear them.
Yeah, they are great. But yep, that's my first grandbaby.
Test. This is a
Granddaughter.
test.
Almost 5 months old.
Hi,
so.
you guys. All right, Haley
So
Mouse, KT, Momo,
I was
all of
watching
y'all.
your,
Can you hear
your
the people
reaction
talking?
video to the Delphi verdict, and your dog's going crazy, and like,
You can hear
I
them?
don't like it either.
Oh,
I was like, dang.
Yeah, they seem to start howling at the appropriate time.
They were very
sometimes.
vocal.
Okay,
I think
ladies.
they had something to say about it, about the verdict.
They
We can hear
certainly did.
you.
Hey, Margaret.
Excuse me.
I don't know if everybody knows, but you can chat. There's a place to chat. Everybody's kind of chatting over. Well, on my computer, it's over to the right, but I don't know on the phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where you go to get to that, like where I can type it.
Okay, they're on a phone. Where you see everybody's icons. And you'll see like the speakers, and then you'll see the audience. Right at the bottom, there's a little
welcome,
bubble.
YouTubers. Hello, Mo. Hello, TK.
It's like a little chat
Hello,
bubble. If you
Grit,
click
Haley,
that,
Haley Mouse.
and
All of
that'll
you,
take
Dr.
you into
Bullbutter.
the chat. But
Thank
you have to
guys
like
for
swipe
joining.
back and forth
The panel is kind of getting set up right now, so we're just going
to reconsider.
be hearing some of that
Okay,
for a minute.
great.
But welcome to the panel.
Oh, there. Hi, Crime
Excellent.
Cafe.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
Oh, everyone is finding the chat. Nice.
Yay.
Yay.
Pop Tarts.
Yeah.
Hi, Gabby.
Hey, Toxic. This is Ada. Everybody in YouTube
Ada.
can hear y'all. So, Crime Cafe, say hello. Alternate Juror, say hello. QB Design, say hello. True Crime Addict, say hello. And Toxic, say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Welcome to the
Margaret.
stream.
Yeah, we sound like Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. Hello, everybody. Sorry. I make weird references, by the way. Yeah.
Squid. Thank you. I am old. That is my granddaughter. So I don't know how old you are, but I'm gonna guess I'm older. She said, "Wait, you're old enough to have a granddaughter? I thought you were my age." I will take that
I bet
as a
I'm older than
compliment.
all of y'all.
Don't know. But
Who's
you need
over
to turn
50?
up.
I think I'll be the baby one.
I am not 39. I am 51.
Ah,
Me too. Yay.
I'm 53 going on 54.
All
Welcome
right,
to the
Ada.
50s, y'all. It's great.
It's wonderful.
You know what? I love it.
Thank you, Squid.
I'm in my 30s.
You're just a
Squid,
I
baby.
guess I'm going to have to say I'm 40
Click the
something.
little hand, and you can come up onto the panel as well.
Jenny said I'm 40 something ish.
I'm
Yes.
40 something ish.
Be proud of
Yeah.
your age. You've made it this far.
To be honest,
Y'all
I
are
can't
just
remember if
babies.
I'm 46 or 47, and I just had a birthday. So
Y'all, wait a minute though. But Jenny has a 5-year-old.
yeah, I have a 5-year-old, and I'm in my late 40s. So
Congratulations.
Yeah, no kidding.
She's
Thank
the
you.
cutest ever. I want to squish her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hats off to you, because I know I'm not like, every time I take care of my granddaughter, I'm reminded I'm not as young as I used to be. Like, I'm tired.
Yeah, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. But she's my best friend. She's the sweetest thing ever.
One of my Karen Lester said, 59 here, old enough to know better. And old enough to say what you want to say and do what you want to do and give a rat's butt about what anybody thinks. No
Yeah,
more living to please people. Live to please
Exactly.
yourself.
Ada, you're still really low.
How is that when I am 100% gained? 100%.
No.
So
It's
Ada,
not-
I had to click
It's low
on
for
the
me too.
arrow that's on the microphone at the bottom of my screen in Discord because it had actually switched my mic to a different one than
Is this
what I
better?
normally use. And
Is that better?
I didn't realize that.
Testing? Is that better?
No.
No.
Yeah.
But it should open up a whole, like, another, when you,
Testing. It's on my main mic. It is on my main mic. I'm used the Rodecaster Pro 2 soundboard. I am literally gained 100%. Hopefully I'm not blowing the ears out of my YouTubers. And I switched just to make sure I'm on my main, and I went on my chat. Is that better?
You sound good on YouTube.
Good.
Test. I'm screaming. Well, you know what I mean. I'm my machine's all the way up. Let me go to my. Okay, wait. I testing. I went into settings and increased the output device. Is this good? Is this testing? I increased it. Okay, ladies, I increased it through the settings of the voice settings. That on the wheel cog. Is that better? Push to talk. No, don't want that. Testing. It shows I'm in the green. Go figure. I made up for y'all. Thank you. I am a makeup artist, so I should know what I'm doing. You know, I could come out looking like this girl. I have coffee. I have tea. You can't hear me in Discord now? Let me go back.
YouTube.
On YouTube, they're
Testing.
saying they can't hear us.
Testing. Why is the panel muted? I didn't touch anything. Lord have mercy.
It wasn't my fault. It wasn't me.
I didn't do it.
Did now how's
they
it?
hear us now?
Testing.
Not me has struck again.
Oh, now they can
True
hear.
crime.
Now they can.
All right. That was
Okay.
good. Thank you,
Yay.
Haley Mouse. You're so
In true
awesome.
crime fashion, let's just go with if it hadn't been for those pesky volume issues, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Scooby-Doo.
I'm deaf. I don't need volume. I can sign.
True. You could sign. Yeah.
Who can sign?
we won't know what you're saying, or at least I won't.
I want to say toxic and all of y'all, True Crime Cafe, alternate juror, everybody, QB Designs. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your gang today. I'm very honored.
Me too.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
the more
happy
the
to have
merrier.
you.
I
And
just
thanks
thought
for
it would
doing
be
the
great
test run.
to get people around, and getting to know each other and whatnot. Just sort of solidify the community a little bit more.
Mm.
I thought that would be nice, and we could talk about some of these really big cases that have been going on and people's feelings and thoughts and
Yeah.
So
Because at least we can speak with people that understand us, our craziness of liking true crime. Not like, oh, what do you do for fun? Oh, I watch murder trials and they look like you lost a marble up there. So it's good to talk to people like me.
I fall asleep to it. So there's that.
Yeah, I fall asleep listening to trials or body cam every single night. My husband can't understand my thought process.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess
I told someone at work the other day, oh, she
that
was
or the whole "you're so morbid."
yeah. She was asking me what I was going to do after work, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to watch a murder trial." And I said, like, like you watch a soap opera. And she was like looking at me like I killed a cat or something. And I'm like, okay, that probably is not as normal as I thought.
hey,
So,
Mouse,
I had
can
to
you take care of
explain
that,
the whole
please?
thing, what it was about, and she was like, "Okay, I think she's scared of me now." So, yeah.
Hey, Toxic, do you want to, because we're not all, everybody's not familiar with everybody else. Do you want to like maybe let Crime Cafe and Alternate Juror and Ada K and True Crime
right
Addict,
back.
not me. Like just kind of
Like, just
introduce themselves, like who they are and what they do, and
absolutely. That was sort of something I said a little bit earlier, but I guess I wasn't heard.
Sorry.
oops.
That's okay.
We know
So
you're in the background.
tell us a
you're making
little.
things happen.
Tell us about what got you into true crime. What was the case that got you into true crime? How has it affected your life in a nutshell?
I'm sorry, who did you ask first?
That's for everybody.
Okay.
Well, you spoke first, Alternate, so go.
I don't know. I don't know that I really have a specific child that got me into true crime. I happened to kind of pick YouTube back up after a long, pause away from it for a while, and that's when a lot of the attorneys started covering trials, and that was fascinating to me to be able to sit and watch trials with them and learn from be you, this could be me, this could be your neighbor. And how these things affect people's lives. So there's been trials where I think the person by the end of the trial is 100% guilty and they're found guilty, and I agree with it. I think there's trials at the end of it. I think they're not guilty. They're found not guilty. But I want people to understand how that affects their life going forward. Just because they're found not guilty in court that day does not mean it's over for them, because there are still going to be people out there that think they are. And
Yeah, that's true.
that's kind of the biggest thing of, hey, just because the cops arrest somebody doesn't mean they're guilty. Just because they're charged doesn't mean they're guilty. So for me, I start out every case. I don't care if I know, like, if I'm the evidence is really putting this person probably guilty. I want the state to prove it. And I will be on that side of, you prove this person's guilt to me by the end of this trial. Even if I think they're guilty, when I started, I tell everybody before every trial, I just want a clean, fair trial. I don't want the prosecutors to pull anything. I don't want the defense attorneys to pull anything. Just be fair, be clean, be honest, and present your evidence that you have. Don't make anything up, And I did hear one attorney say, by the time the state is done presenting their case, you should be swayed to the state. Once the defense is done presenting their case, if they have swayed you at all, then you got to look at that. Do you have
reasonable doubt?
Yeah.
So I use that.
That's a really good determination of reasonable doubt, because I think people don't know what that means. They don't know what that means.
Yes, I agree. So
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I get confused with it too. Like,
me too.
And the other thing you said, alternate, is with the just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty and that kind of stuff. I think what people don't understand is that once you're arrested, even if you're found not guilty, even if you never go to trial, that arrest is still on your record.
Oh yeah, and it will still follow you for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Depending on the level of background check that even an employer does or anything like that, it will come up.
Yes.
And it's no joke. Like, this whole charging people with stuff, you know what I mean? It's no joke.
Absolutely, I agree. And I don't think people understand how
they don't
just getting arrested. Even, if you get arrested and maybe the charges don't even get filed, I believe there is still from what I understand, there's a deep enough dig they can do that they'll still see that.
Well,
it depends on the level
for that.
Well,
like
it depends.
It depends on the level. Like, if you're in retail, maybe they don't dig that deep, right? Maybe they're looking for financial crimes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't.
But if it is a corporate job, they might have like a bigger.
Right. Yeah.
level.
Well, I think too, it also depends on what kind of job you're looking.
Yeah, if it is like with children or like elderly,
working with children, they look pretty deep. They look to see if you have any crimes against children, even accusations. Same with
Judge Warders says that a lot.
They're looking for fraud charges.
Hey, we wax
whatnot. Even in the medical field.
Hey, hey, Karen.
They're looking for anything.
Medical, there's huge background checks in medical.
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
Especially like if you're working as a home support worker, and whatnot, and you're going into people's homes, they want to make sure that you don't have any theft charges and stuff like that, because you're going into people's homes.
Unfortunately, in the United States, I'll admit I was arrested for nothing. It was associated with something else. I've never been found guilty in a court of law. It was years ago. It was the most horrible thing in the world, but it give me some good insight. I learned a lot, and it's kind of interesting. Don't ever wonder what it's like inside a jail. You may end up there for about 5 hours, but even though you go before a judge and ask for an expungement or suppression, and my judge said, "I can't believe they even did this. Yeah, we're suppressing this. This is heinous. This is BS. This shouldn't have happened. My apologies, ma'am." and then it gets suppressed. But
Still shows up.
it still shows up. Hi, Broken Baker. And in Denmark, you have a 10-year rule where your record is cleaned, everything disappears. Well, it doesn't show up on the normal searches, but if I go to get a lead shooter license, if I go to get certified for an interpreter, any licensure or certification, it will show up. However, this is where you get screwed. It states in the law, and then they will tell you, we're not supposed to hold it against you because it's been suppressed. There is no expungement. That's a lie. It is not an expungement. It still can be seen, but it can't be used against you. However, and the thing they tried to get me for was so minuscule. It wasn't anything at all. But when you get arrested, it will show up, and they say, even though it's expunged or suppressed, whatever your district uses, it's seen, and it taints the mind of the person. Like if you're going for a job, it shows it's suppressed. It says it can't be held against you, but socially it gets held against you. You could be the most perfect person for the job. I've never committed a crime. I've got 2 ordinations. I live a clean life, never done drugs or anything like that. And just because somebody accuses you of something, it sticks with you forever. It sucks.
Yep. And if you don't disclose it, so even if it's expunged, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, so you feel like, okay, you're going to do a job application, it's expunged. I don't have to tell them, right? So you don't put it on there.
My event.
And then they say, oh, well, we see that you have this on here. Why didn't you tell us? Well, because
First of all, the questions, you need to look at the question.
Yeah.
1, have you been convicted of any crime?
Yeah.
If they said, have you
No.
been arrested for any crime, then
It's completely different. Yeah.
that's how they're
Mhm.
getting around it nowadays, y'all. Now they're changing it from conviction to an arrest.
Yes.
I can put, yes, I've been arrested, no conviction, judge expunged it, cannot be used against me. And if you're going to use it against me, I don't want to work for you.
True.
Broken Baker is sounding off in here. Oh my gosh, y'all. Denmark, he's saying nothing stays on your record. We can see it in court that there are priors, but they are blacked out. That's for him in Denmark. Thank you, Broken Baker.
Thank you. Yeah. It's interesting to me how different it is from country to country.
Absolutely. I agree.
You know,
I think that-
They're way different.
Oh, mouth off all you want,
everything
Broken
is
Baker.
kind of like that.
Well, I just think if you've been arrested, but there's no conviction, or if you took a deferred adjudication, and when you complete that, they say, oh, take a deferred adjudication, you do ... and then all of this goes away. There's no conviction. It's dropped. That's not true.
It's a
You
whole
have
lie.
to pay to have it suppressed, and it still bites you in the butt.
Yes.
I think that the laws should be changed here in the U.S. that if you do not have a court conviction, then it shouldn't even be visible to anybody.
Yep. Agreed.
I agree.
There's some
Agreed.
fabulous people who've
and
been
I-
accused of things.
And Ada, I don't mean to keep talking over you. You're low, so sometimes I can't hear you. I apologize.
I get on the mic. Is that
but-
better?
Also, the when they sit down with people, when the DA sits down with people, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do adjudication or whatever, and don't worry about it. Just plead no contest, and you'll be fine, and you won't do any time, and maybe you'll do a little probation." But they don't tell them it will follow you for the rest of your life.
Lying son of a biatches is what I call it.
Yeah, it's crap. It's crap.
It's
It is.
entrapment. To me, that's entrapment.
It
It's one
is.
thing to lie when you're doing investigation and you need to get evidence and you can lie within bounds as an investigator. Okay, fine. but the DA should. That's a contractual agreement that you're making. And what you're doing is knowingly lying on a contract to entrap somebody to do something that they may not do otherwise. That's bullcrap.
Okay, class, what have we learned? We don't talk to anybody without an attorney.
Shut
Right.
your
Ever.
mouth.
And know that doing so, they may absolutely double down on you because you are coming in with an attorney. So they're gonna. I've watched. I'm like you guys. I am watching some, true crime before I go to sleep, and I have seen officers on there say, "Well, he came in with an attorney, so we immediately, we were on him." He
They
at least
assume that you're guilty.
They did. He at least admitted they were wrong, that they were able to clear him. But I'm like, that's the problem, is because they came in with an attorney, you guys just absolutely go after them.
Mhm.
And you guys were wrong. But what you do to his
So
life in
true,
that
Broken
process.
Baker. So true.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, my phone is doing things and I have it on mute, but apparently my alarms didn't get the memo. What was I gonna say? Oh, look at Richard Allen. Richard Allen, I mean, and everybody has their view on it. And I think, I don't know if Toxic said it at the beginning, but we're all gonna be nice.
Yes.
Really?
I did not get that memo. No, I'm joking.
We can
Okay,
all
Broken
have
Baker, you did
our
not get the memo
opinions.
on my live. You
Just be
cannot be nice.
respectful. And yes, please feel free to let loose the curse words. That's fine.
Thank you. Sorry, Ada, but
Okay,
your stream.
my live-
here on
my live
Discord,
warning,
then
curse
we
words.
would be on YouTube.
Mm.
So
It's okay.
But look at
I'm not
Richard Allen.
monetizing. Go
he
for it.
called them. He's like, yeah, I was there. They said, anybody that was out there, please let us know because we're trying to get information.
Yeah, but you did that, and then we got in trouble like he did, and now we got convicted.
Exactly. So what does that teach you? I'll
Better
tell you
sometimes to
now,
be
if I'm
quiet.
somewhere, yeah, if I'm somewhere where something happens, I'll be like, yeah, no, I don't know nothing about nothing.
Unless
Yeah,
there's
see,
video
none didn't
proof
learn
that I was there, I am not gonna admit that I was there. Unless there's clear video that is me, because can be a blurred picture. But as long as a clear video of it was me, that's not the only way I will admit to anything.
True Crime
and
Addict
that's
8,
not
will you do us a
honest.
favor?
Yeah.
Can you
I'm
back
sorry.
off your mic just a little
go
bit
ahead.
because it's very muffled? And by the way, guys, if you learn sign language and a cop pulls you over, go deaf rogue. They don't know what to do with you. I heard nada. Me deaf. Don't know nada. Just
I think I will just start speaking another language, Ada.
there you go.
No habla.
No hablo inglés. No.
So
That's okay.
so Jenny's quiet and Jenny's never quiet.
Jenny.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just don't want to. I don't want to interrupt.
I know. So what was the? I know the answer to this, but what was the case that got you into true crime?
Oh, that was Casey Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Casey Anthony. I mean, I'd seen things on TV before. My mom was a big trial watcher. She was into, OJ. And does anybody remember the whole thing with Oliver North? I mean, all of that stuff that was on
Yes.
TV back in the, 80s and
Yeah, I
90s.
remember Oliver North.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Remember that?
But
I didn't.
it was
Sorry.
Casey Anthony was definitely the trial that got me into true crime. And then the snapped marathons on TV, And then it just went downhill from there. So
Hi, Squid. Be safe.
Yes, Squid, be
I
safe.
think for me, I mean, yeah, I watched, I was always into American Justice and all of that kind of stuff.
Watergate.
But I think the trial that really got me was the Memphis 3.
Yeah.
That one really made my head spin. And I think that's when I started looking into it?
It's scary because people, and it depends on your age too. And like, Jenny was talking about Oliver North and stuff like that. People are just now realizing, because of the law tubers, because of content creators, because of social media, they're seeing all this stuff and they're saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe all the corruption that's going on now. And it's like, no, it's not now.
It's always been there.
Going on. It's just never been as transparent. Now the
And it's not just and it's not just like the bad stuff, but it's also to see this justice happening to people that actually, committed heinous acts and alive people and all, and actually being brought to justice and see how it's done. But to me, because I'm in the UK, I'm over in England, the cold England. And we can see how the process works and how the American system is over there. We don't have that transparency over here. They do. Like,
y'all don't have anything, like you can't see anything over there, right?
Yeah. Well, you can start for the last 2 years. They've been giving sentencing videos, and there's videos they do live streaming of sentencings, and the superior court over here and the appeals courts they live stream, but not like the trials that we all see and love. They don't do that yet, but I know that there's talks, and I've been investigating and reading because it's my hobby, because I'm weird. They are thinking of actually starting live streaming UK court cases, only selected ones, which, to start with is something, but still, yeah.
That'd be cool.
I know, I cannot wait. There is one next week that I really want to go in person, because it happened literally 2 streets away from where I live. So I'm really interested in that one. But they say it's going to snow next week, so I might just not go anywhere and stay home.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to answer this question.
Different in other countries too. Like there's a story. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Yeah. Sorry,
I don't know if you guys are familiar with there was a case in Australia, and the little girl, it was a little girl. She was a young teenager, and she was murdered by her cousin, who was also a young teenage girl. And her name, the little girl that died, her name was Biddy Porter. And because of the age of the cousin and all that, they put massive gag orders on everything. The parents of the victim couldn't even talk about what had happened to their daughter. It was awful.
Terrible. Well, they pretty much did the same thing there with Daniel Gore, because of the age. He's the one who killed that little girl, Melanie Lee, and his trial has finally just started. They gag ordered the heck out of it. Same with that Riley shooter there, the kid that went and shot up and killed a whole bunch of people in Riley. So getting information on that was a pain in the butt, because it was just everything was gagged.
Can I answer that question? Because mine's unusual on how I got into this.
Yes, please do.
I didn't plan to do this at all. Most of my viewers know that my ex-husband went to prison, left me with very young children. I lost everything, house, car, had to have an estate sale, everything gone. We owed $1 million almost because of all this. It was a nationwide case, so to speak. Nancy Grace spoke on it, but where I live, it was all over the papers. Anytime something happened, cameras followed everywhere. It was a freaking nightmare. I know what it's like to be the wife or the spouse. It sucks. But this was years and years ago. My kids are grown now. And I've have a lot of people said, Ada, why don't you write a book or do something? You have a lot of knowledge. Well, I started researching. There's nothing out there to help women or men, a spouse of someone who goes to prison. It's like a death.
Yeah.
You just don't have the death certificate. And I didn't know what to do. Nobody knew what to do at the time. This was back in the early 2000s. We didn't have the social media that we have now, all of that stuff. So I decided I was going to write a book, and it was called Jail Widow. Still may do that. But then I'm
That's
dyslexic
incredible.
as hell. I ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
So I thought I would do a little YouTube thing. So over the year and a half, I slowly bought everything because I didn't want to go into debt. I bought my soundboard. I bought a computer. I did have to pay that off. I bought my monitor. I didn't have everything I have now, but I went live. But I said, I've got to figure out how to work all this stuff. I didn't know what you had to do to go live. I Googled it and it said you needed it. I got it. Little did I know you could have done it with just a cell phone. But anyway, long story short, I had to go live. I figured, do you know what? I'll find a case that nobody, I'll just find something and I'll stream for 4 or 5 hours. Nobody's going to watch. I'll make mistakes. If it goes, if it collapses, if it freezes, if I push the wrong, who gives a shit, right? Now, mind you, I've always watched things like Simpson and the North trials and things like that, but I wasn't involved like you guys are. George Kelly was my first trial. Y'all probably don't even know who he is, but it was very important because it's a border state trial in New Mexico where a ranch literally is on the wall between Texas and Mexico. Butts up. He's on the border. And they found a deceased immigrant on his ranch and accused him of shooting him. And it really set a precedent.
I saw that.
Oh,
Yeah. Because I live near the border. So does Ronnie. There's several of us. But in my ministry, in my ties with the military and police, through my ministry, I have been on the border. I've seen horrendous stuff. And
Yeah.
I was really, really, and it just blew up. Then it was a Hannah Gutierrez Reed, and I started having followers, and here I am. I've always watched court stuff here and there. I'm a little different than y'all. I go to sleep watching camping videos because of the rain and the sound. I have to get my mind off of it somehow. But I'm an accident waiting to happen in a lot of ways. And this was one accident that I can say it has been an honor and a blessing, and the support that everybody gave me. I'm only 7-8 months old.
That's amazing.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to get cigarettes. I don't know where
He's on his way.
How do you know?
I just
so
got a
anyway,
message.
I'm honored to be here
Hi,
with you guys.
Flash
Y'all are
fan.
amazing.
Flash fan. Yeah, and Ada K, I like to try to cover the smaller trials. That I'll just like look on local news channels all around the country and see what's happening and try to cover those smaller trials that
Yeah, rather than the big massive ones. Same. I don't. Yeah.
just and a lot of them
The
because
cases for me, the ones that no one is paying attention. Like for example, right now everyone is showing the Lake and Riley one. I want to
So
do it
true,
from
be
everything.
wax
I like
traps.
small cases that no one is interested. So it just
I'm that way. Only thing that is really bad about them generally is the audio. So
audio stowed off.
it's like,
That's the biggest struggle.
it is, and that's the thing that is the biggest struggle with those smaller cases. But I like to do those just because we've watched some really bad ones that nobody wanted to cover that were smaller because they were about children, and those are bad and those are really hard to watch. But it's like I'm kind of like I'm going to keep covering them because nobody wants to, and these children deserve to have a voice out there, even though
Yeah.
it doesn't leave you. And I can't imagine being in the courtroom. I can't imagine being a juror and seeing what we don't see.
Oh, yeah, we are fortunate enough that we don't see half of what the jury sees and the judges and everyone in the courtroom sees. The autopsy photos and body cameras and.
Yeah.
See, that's where I different. I want to see all of that. I want to see what the jury is seeing. Because a lot of the times, just listening to the description, sometimes you just can't picture it.
I agree. And there are some.
I'm sorry, but that's just that's it goes with the Richard Allen. I didn't
understand why he was not live streamed.
I would love to see all of those crime scene photos to get a better image in my own head of the whole scene, not just little bits.
Yeah,
I want the whole kit and caboodle. That just makes more sense for me than a lot of this, little bit here, a little bit there.
Can I chime in on that?
But don't get me wrong, I do understand that there's the need for some like in Richard Allen's dignity of the girls. I mean, Olivia was found in an awful state, naked. You're about as vulnerable naked. All dignity was taken from her when she was killed. So I kind of understand that, but I still wanted to see, everything. And I think it should have been streamed.
100%. And
I think they did a really big disservice to.
Yeah, because they could have shown everything else. Yeah, they could have shown like everything else apart from that. The photos like they're doing in the Lake and Riley trial and the Chloe Driver trial and so many other trials they do.
Well, I agree with 100% with all of you, but I have to disagree on one point. It glorifies what the victim did for them to know those horrible pictures are being showed internationally, number one. And also I think of the victims' families. Once again, as an emergency services chaplain, and I get to see that side of things. And that's one thing I love about YouTube and what we all are doing. We get everybody's perspective, and nobody's right or wrong. It's just our perspective. And there are times I really want to see them too, because that's just part of my life. That's how I make decisions. I'm an informational person. However, it does glorify in the minds of the perpetrator. And it also feeds other perpetrators out in the community who are watching this to get their kicks. And I just see it from that perspective. I think that there should be a way for people to have access to possibly some of that. Like we get access to records. But it's a hard decision. It's a fine line.
To get the crime scene pictures and stuff, they don't release those. The only time I think you can get them is
a screenshot.
You have to freedom of information. And then you also have to pay, and they're not
you
cheap.
got to FOIA request, and they're not cheap.
But
knows for sure.
I don't have a problem seeing them.
Personally, for my own personal use, I would never post them. Like I wouldn't pull a Zav girl in that aspect. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
On my own personal, I think it should be easier for the public to gain access to certain.
I don't disagree with that.
Things like that,
I don't.
crime scene pictures and whatnot. That's just me, but that's how my brain works. And
I don't disagree with that.
I'd never post them.
Right. I just disagree with the fact that people put some of this out there to boost their channel. It's a shock factor.
Yes.
It's one of those kind of things. But at the same time, I want to respect the victim's family and I don't want to glorify the crime. But for those of us who have a reason to look at them and want them, they should be a lot easier to obtain. Definitely. Broken Baker said, look at what he did at the 77-year-old lady. Oh yeah. Broken Baker has been popping. He says that he watched the classic JDAH Riddle House, and then I have my background that made me interested in the real cases, not the big ones. Cool. But
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
agree with you
tell
100% on that.
Tell Broken Baker to come on over. He can join the chat too.
Broken Baker, you want to come join the chat? We'll hop you in. The link is where? On Toxic Orchids?
yes.
Is he a member? Yeah, he's a member, eh?
But I drop a Discord link on Addict chat. Do you
Somebody
have...
hit your Discord link in my chat. Broken Baker, come
Yeah.
join us. We'd love to hear you if you're up to it. Are you photos profiting? And the other thing is profiting. That's a good one, Gret. It's profiting from them is another issue. Just think about it. Michael Jackson died. Somebody snuck an autopsy photo, which they shouldn't have, and they have made a ton of money. But if I've access
Well, they
to
did the
crazy
same
people, have
thing
access
to the crimes the girls in for Delphi.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was leaked.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, there is profit. Yeah, for sure. That I don't agree with.
Yeah, that is just wrong. I mean, yeah.
And that didn't go well when that was leaked.
No, it did not.
One guy self-deleted, and the other guy just had his charges dropped against him right before the trial started. And so, and the attorneys got blamed for that.
And there was someone that when the Delphi State case started, that media person that got kicked out because he was taking pictures inside of the courtroom, wasn't it? Or did I?
That was before the trial. No, he was.
Yeah.
They said they were taking pictures of the jury coming in and stuff like that. But here's the thing about Westerman. Does anybody else find it very strange
Okay, we
that
understand.
like 2 days after the trial, Westerman's the one that leaked the photos from Rosie's office, that all of a sudden it was all expunged and stuff?
Yeah.
The whole thing's been a mess.
Everything, everything was dropped,
That
right? It was like 2 days.
This whole case from the get-go has been an absolute nightmare of a mess, down from the police investigating. And I still think they're hiding something. And I think it's one of the higher ups in the elites that are all involved.
Same. I've been following that case since the girls went missing.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a long time.
Yeah, I've been following this case. You can ask Jenny. She's muted right now, but Delphi has a really, I don't want to say a special place in my heart because that sounds weird, but
we know what you mean, though.
I have been following this since the girls went missing, and when they
grit.
The whole thing from the beginning, I was like, "What are y'all doing? What are you doing?" And then 2 years later, they drop a new bridge guy, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then when they arrested Richard Allen, I was like, I never thought he was the guy. And then to see all the stuff that Judge Gold did, and it's like, why are we okay? Not to make this all about Delphi, but if the defense or if the prosecution wanted to say that the Odinist angle was such crap, and it was just ridiculous, everything else, then let them run with it. Let them run with it and look like, look like idiots. Fine. Let them run with it.
I said the same thing. Just let them predict. You guys talk about the jury's so smart. Okay, I agree.
The point is to have due process, to have a fair trial. They have a right to know everything. And like Alternate, you were saying, I do deep dives into cases, but you can ask Jenny. I go into it and I'm like, okay, Y'all can't say that because the juror doesn't know that. You know that, but the
Right.
jury doesn't know that. We can't make a decision based off what we know. We have to make a decision based off what they know.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so
But I mean, I'm sorry, but I think defense, they were cut off at the knees. They weren't able to put up a defense for him. Every turn it was denied.
And Dr. Bullbutter, I respect your right to think that he's guilty. I don't have a problem with anybody thinking that he's guilty. And I asked the question, I'm like, what makes you think they're guilty? And then I have to like thing yesterday. But anyways, I want to know. I want to know what makes people think that he's guilty. Because I want to see it from your side. I'm not necessarily going to agree with it. I mean, if you brought me some kind of, concrete something, I would be willing to look at it, but I definitely want to discuss it, I definitely want to hear it because I don't understand it from what I've seen. So that's just my personal. That's just me.
That's me. Are you in Indiana? QB?
I am not.
Okay.
I am not.
So, I am. So I just wondered why, like how you grabbed onto it.
I don't know, how. So my big thing is, and you can ask Jenny. I'm like, y'all gonna come for me. Okay, a prime example. Like yesterday, Zabara, right? The defense attorney was talking about that camera. Being at the witness stand, and facing towards them, and the if you're not watching it, they basically had there was
That
a camera
pissed me
at the
off.
witness stand that was facing the defendant, and there was also a microphone. Well, this is a bench trial, okay? So, regardless, that camera was put there to get the money shot of the defendant, okay? And yes, do we all think that he did it? We all do. Okay. But
it was the brother. I'm kidding. I'm
Right,
totally kidding. But they're trying to blame the brother.
Even him, okay, and this is where my thing comes in. Even him, okay, as heinous as his stuff was, he has a right to due process. He has a right to attorney-client privilege. And when you stick a camera in the face and a microphone, the microphone is what sent me over the edge. Why do you need a microphone?
The microphone said that it was off. It was not even working.
I don't care. I don't care that you have a camera facing and like Jenny said yesterday, if you want to do that, then put one on the prosecution's table too. Why don't you have one on the prosecution's table? And again, I think he's guilty. I think he did it. Okay. I think he needs to go away for a very long time.
Can I ask a question on this? I want to ask a question.
Sure.
The microphone, if there's a microphone on their table and one on the prosecution table, they should be able to mute that at will. That is
I'm
there
talking
for a
about,
reason.
Ada, there was a camera and a microphone at the witness stand that was it was sitting on the witness stand where the witness would sit, and it was facing directly towards the defendant. Okay. And recording everything of the defendant and their attorney and his attorney. Okay.
I don't have a problem with the camera.
A microphone.
Microphone,
and they said it was
I would.
turned off. But I don't try. And even the judge says he's going to think about it over the weekend. But everybody was like, "Oh, shut up! You're just complaining." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, "Look, I think he did it. I think he needs to pay. Due process is due process."
I understand the microphone issue, but the camera, I don't see the issue. If you did the crime, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. I mean, it is what it is. It's social media, it's media,
Welcome,
it's
Cafe.
coverage, and it's, fair enough, process to him, but it's also fair process for everybody else to get to be part of the trial and get the information out, especially for the victim's family.
That's not okay, though. I'm sorry, but it's not okay. It's not okay to see what he's saying with his attorney. It's like them videotaping Richard Allen when his attorneys were visiting. That's not okay. It's not okay. people have a right. People have a right to attorney-client privilege. That's why we have that in this country.
Okay.
And
I'm going to be your devil's advocate.
Mic, that's fair enough. But the camera doesn't pick up really sound if the mic is not there. It's not present. If it's just the image.
I'm going to be devil's advocate because I love to do
the
that.
judge is going to take it down.
I'm going to be a devil's
I'm
advocate.
going to take it down no matter what my opinion is or everybody else's. The last word is from the judge. But yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be
Well,
devil's
he literally
advocate
said
now.
that over the weekend he was going to think about it, but he could understand where the defense was coming from, you know.
And even the prosecution agreed. They're like, we don't have a problem taking that camera down.
Okay, guys,
But
I want to play devil's advocate just for a split
Sorry.
second. Here's the devil's advocate coming out. You committed a crime publicly. You were in a public court of law. I don't care if it's a judge or a jury. You are in a public court of law. The camera to me, I don't care where it is in that courtroom. How many courts have we watched? Karen Reed, all of these other trials that we watch, you cover your mouth when you talk. You are in a public court.
I agree.
Microphone,
I agree with
I have an issue.
Completely.
I don't disagree with you. I think it was the microphone that sent me kind of over the edge.
Well,
They
and some
also
cameras have
posted- but they
microphones
also
on them.
posted, pictures of Lakin too.
Oh yeah,
That was accidental though. That picture that was shown, it was an accident. It wasn't done intentionally.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But don't get me wrong. I don't want anybody to get it twisted. I think that there should be cameras and audio in every freaking court in this United States. Okay. I think it should be full transparency. I just had an issue with the microphone because they could say it doesn't work or whatever. I don't trust people. And I hate to say that. But I don't
Well,
trust
once again,
I agree with you, QB.
Devil's
but it's
advocate.
Just the transparency thing. Just take the mic off and leave the camera, or just take the camera, because the other main camera, you can see him anyways, and they can zoom in on his face anywhere from where they are on the main camera, because the courtroom seems so small that literally that camera can catch the whole courtroom.
well,
What
and
I
I'll
would
play devil's
honestly love
advocate
to
again.
have
As
is
a deaf
one
person,
over the jury box.
as I'll play
Not-
devil's advocate again, and I'm okay with being that for now. But as a deaf person, I walk into a room and everybody's talking. I can't understand them. I have an interpreter, and that interpreter's interpreting conversations. You're standing behind me talking to your friend, they're interpreting it, and people get pissed off because they're interpreting that conversation. If you were a hearing person back to back to somebody who's talking to another
be hearing
person,
it.
you can hear the conversations. People call it unintentional eavesdropping. Whether that microphone's there or not, the conversations can be picked up by individuals in the courtroom. They can be picked up by the other cameras across the way. Now, I'm not saying you should purposefully target him with a microphone, but you were in a public place. Anything you say and do is a public witness. You could be sitting, how many times have we sat at trials and could hear talking from the prosecution, defense, or even some of the law teams who were working, the paralegals who were working and whispering to the lawyer? It is, if it's a targeted situation, I don't agree with it. If it's just because where they're placed, because of lack of space and the best coverage, I don't have a problem with it. It's what is the intent behind having it where it is?
I
But
think
it
that was my
pisses me
thing,
off
Ada,
when
was
people
that
say,
it felt,
"Oh, you can't do that because this is a court proceeding." Dude, you're in public.
yeah, no. And I'm not saying that, but in my opinion, that particular thing was targeted.
Okay.
And I think
I can see
everybody
that.
thinks it's okay because, there's the dog. They're angry at my opinion.
Sorry, I'm gonna mute.
No, you're fine. I think that everybody thinks it's okay because, he did this heinous crime, and that's where my stuff comes in. That's where my stuff comes in, because I have my reasons for it, and I haven't come out with it, and I don't know that I ever will. But I feel like everybody deserves due process.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody deserves a fair trial. And because if you don't give it to the people that you don't think deserve it, guess what? The people that do deserve it won't get it either.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
just want to
so,
let y'all know that everybody in my live stream, we have dropped all of the panels links to their YouTube channels. Please go and subscribe. Leave your DNA.
leave your DNA all over it.
We
Oh,
love
yes.
you
Don't
and
forget
we
to
want to
join
support
Ask
all
the
of y'all.
Gavel Drops if you haven't.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
got that up there too.
Because-
Don't worry, girlfriend. For court documents, join as the gavel drops. To verify your account when you join, you won't be able to look up trials if you're looking for it. But that is where most of us get our fabulous documents. So definitely,
Good stuff.
we support you.
Yes. So I guess I haven't said where I started with the true crime.
Nope.
So no, oops. So I'm the newbie in the block probably. I started I think it was a year ago now with Timothy Ferret out of Florida, the Boy in the Box trial.
Yes.
So that was my first one. I was brave and I watched that one on Law and Crime. I did not know about any law tubers, no one. I was in the crazy world of Law and Crime. But then found RA, and he was doing the Tucker case, the Treehouse guy, the pro se.
Tucker was so good.
It was good. Because I was off sick from work. I had a work accident, and I was off for a few months. So I found the true crime community, and I never left. And now I'm an addict to it. Can't leave.
Yeah. So how many people when Tucker first started were like rolling your eyes and like, this dude is so going down? And as the trial went on, you're like, holy crap, he's figuring it out.
Guilty.
Oh my God.
My
he's
hands
learning.
raised.
Yep. Same.
I thought he was guilty too. I was like,
But
how?
did you not like
And
when he
then
was
as-
representing himself? Like pro se people, you just kind of roll your eyes and go, okay. But Tucker figured it out, man. Tucker figured it out. I think he's the only one who's ever gotten a hung jury as pro se.
Yeah, and he's still battling. I mean, he's still going right into the judge as one Sarah Boom still does and did before. He's still writing to the judge quite a bit about his case and still going strong. But I think he's in jail now, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he got arrested. Not even for that. It was for something else. It was a probation violation.
No, come on.
I'm like, dude, you beat the whole system. You beat the
I was
whole
sitting there
system.
thinking
At
too,
least
when
you
you
can
did
do
that,
it.
you're thinking like, how stupid can you be though? Like,
Oh,
he knew better. He knew better. I think he knew better, and he was just testing his luck, and his luck ran out.
Yeah.
oh man, come
The
on.
judge during that trial was he cracked us up the entire time because he would get so frustrated, and I've never heard a judge sigh so hard as the judge in the Treehouse murder trial.
Yes. We just started calling him Judge Cy.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, another one that drove me crazy was Daryl Brooks, pro se. Oh my
I
god!
didn't watch that one because I was not in the true crime community, and
That's when I
Can we
discovered.
talk about Judge Darrow though?
I love
I
her.
love her. I love her so
That was-
much.
That was when I found Recovery Addict, and I owe so much to him because he's the one who got the gavel going, member wise. Because when I first opened it up to his thing, we were only 26 members, and now look at us. It's just like, wow.
How many
This is
members do you have
wild.
now?
What I love about Recovery Addict is he got his whole channel blown up in the Ferris wheel trial. That old lady.
I wish I had that kind of blow up.
Included in the case, but the Ferris case was
That was hilarious too when the judge was watching his stream and got caught.
I love the little man in the corner with the
I've
headphones.
never seen somebody go as white as Scott did that day. Like, I honestly thought he was going to get in really big trouble or something.
When was
But it was
this? I
just
didn't know
funny.
about this. I didn't know about that.
Did you guys notice, or
and-
have you noticed yet that the trial for Chloe Driver, the mom, the cult murder mom baby trial?
Yeah.
I'm covering
Have
that.
you noticed that the it's in the same courtroom as the Ferris trial? Different.
It
judge,
is.
but-
The prosecutor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It is.
prosecutor's the same, and a couple of the cops were the same.
They're in the same jail, so I was wondering the other day, right, if they know each other, because Melody is in a Cherokee County jail, so is Chloe. So I was wondering if they know each other.
No, they would
Maybe,
not.
Maybe.
They would be kept indifferent because male and female.
Melody and Chloe.
Chloe's,
No, which one are you
Chloe's
talking
a
about?
girl, and then the Ferris woman. They're both women.
Girl.
Oh, I
Yeah, that's what I
misunderstood.
said. They're
Deaf
both women,
problem.
so-
That's a deaf problem. But have you seen that reporter, the beautiful black woman with that
That's
huge
them,
afro?
yeah.
One day, her afro looked like somebody had just smashed the hell out of it during the trial, and it was doing
yeah.
that.
Talking about her hair the whole time.
It's like it was almost like, wow, that testimony blew your afro.
Talking about testimony, can we talk about that guy, Jason guy? As everyone heard, his testimony.
Yeah, he
The
drinks
weird
his
guy.
urine and he calls it urine therapy. Oh,
Yeah. And the prosecutors in the legal cult, I love that. I absolutely loved that. The legal cult. So I did transform that into a soundbite, which was hilarious. Sorry, but you have to. It's yeah. That was epic. That his testimony was something different for sure.
it was a lot. It was a lot. It was exhausting.
What do y'all
Definitely.
think
I think it was
about the
longest
Chloe Driver
testimony
trial?
in this whole trial was hers, but I don't think he was a star witness or anything. I mean, I'm on the fence on that case. She is guilty. There's no question about it. And she's not saying that she's not. She's just saying that it's insanity.
Right.
But I know like the whole cult thing and whatever they believed and or they did not believe. I don't think it's enough to say insanity. I don't know. I'm still on the fence on that one.
I don't think one of the many things I've done is I worked at the state hospital here in Texas for the forensically and criminally insane. And I got to know, do you remember the woman, Andrea Bates?
Oh,
I
Yeah,
got to know her very well.
that
And
one really bothered me too.
That changed,
Oof.
but here's the thing. I read her, I can't give you the information, but I can say this. I read her entire case file. I read all of her documents, her medical documents, because I worked with her. And I worked on other units, but I worked on her unit, and I read about my people. And she is the sweetest, kindest person. She's super artistic, super giving. She can make and do anything. But that poor woman was thrown under the bus. Her husband should have been held responsible too. She says, and it's public, I did it. I will pay for the rest of my life. There's nothing anybody can do to me that will come in comparison what I'm doing to myself for what happened. But they were told, her husband was told, do not have another child. She has got one of the worst cases of postpartum depression I have ever seen in my life, and she's going to break. She's going to snap. And he got her pregnant on purpose again. They were
Yeah.
told to give medications, to
Yeah,
take
but
medications. They were
that-
told to do all this stuff, and the husband said no. But
Yeah, that's been made public for a long time about the
right,
husband
but
not following the doctors and just getting her pregnant. Yeah,
well, there's
that
some things I can't say, but I will say there's more
Yeah.
extenuating circumstances here than what the public
Oh, I'm
knows,
sure
and
there
it
are.
pisses
I'm
me
sure there
off.
are.
Well, she can never live free, and she doesn't want to because
Mm.
every week I'm not there anymore, death threats. But let's tie it into this case. This girl was met at the age of 16 is when he supposedly met, if I don't have my facts wrong. He groomed her.
He groomed her.
He groomed her.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a
he
cult.
groomed her.
This is where it's
That's
different
what all
from
these
Andrea.
Cults
This
do
is a
they
cult.
groom.
And this poor
And
girl,
I'm sure he held that kid over her head every second chance she got.
not only the kid, but her parents. I mean, this is so classic. I'll say it here. I've said it before on my live. As a sex trafficking survivor, once you are in a position where someone like that has power over you, you can have the keys to the house, a car to get away, the cell phone, and all the money in the world. Doesn't mean anything when they threaten the life of your child or the life of your family. You will do anything to protect them at all costs. And with her age and his grooming, the religious, the emotional, the physical, the sexual abuse, everything that happened to that poor girl, she could be standing in total freedom in the middle of the forest with nobody there and could go anywhere and still be imprisoned. People don't understand that. Do I believe that she needs to be held accountable for the ending of the life of that child? Yes, but she tried to end her life too. It was what we call a murder-suicide and attempt, and it was unsuccessful. But for her, I think that prison is not going to be the answer. I think that she should be treated as a victim herself who committed a crime in the state of being a victim. And there needs to be something, if it's not there yet in our criminal justice for those kinds of cases. It's like these girls who get pulled into trafficking and they're forced to commit crimes. And at the same time, they don't have a choice. They have to commit that crime or die. And they get punished for committing that crime. And the person who's making them gets free. I believe that this young girl can never, her punishment will be just breathing because of what she did to her child. But I think throwing the key and locking her, throwing her up and putting her in jail and throwing away the key is not the answer. A life sentence is not the answer.
If she is even found not guilty with reason of insanity,
She
not
won't
going to
make
be
it.
free because she's going to go still away to a psychiatry hospital. They're going to put her on so many meds that she's not going to know the difference of day and night. So it's the difference there. Where's the justice there as well?
But once again, I'm looking at Andrea. When they did that to her, and it took about a year for her to get medically stable. There are some medications she takes, but she's no longer under that postpartum depression. She's gone through therapy. She is a very well-balanced person. She could have a good free life away from there, but fear of being harmed or killed herself is why she chooses to stay.
Yeah, but where's the justice for the baby there? Imagine if that happens for Chloe. Where's the justice of the for the
I
baby?
agree.
There's
She should serve some jail time.
13-month old. There's not in this earth anymore because of that situation. Yes, she's going to live with that for the rest of her life, but she should still pay for the crime that she committed.
I'm not saying she shouldn't serve time.
Yes, mental health and everything else, but still accountable for your mistakes. Still accountable for what you did or not do.
I don't disagree. I said she should be punished. She should serve some time. But at the age of 24 now, she's 24, 22, she should
24.
not be thrown away for 70 years. When there are people who go out there and kill 4 or 5 people and get 15 years. And they were in their right mind. She will not make the insanity plea because she won't meet it as far as legally. But should she serve jail time? Yes. But I think they should get her mentally
Well,
stable
because
before putting her in the jail sentence. That's what I'm saying.
I'm assuming that there is no medical records substantiating that she had mental health issues.
Why
There
would
is
there
some.
be when
Not
she
the-
didn't
that's
go
why
to the
she's not the
doctor when
new,
she was forced to give birth in the home with no medical care, no midwife, just the family? That's part of the control.
But
You're
that
not
was
going to
what
have any
part of
records.
what they believed, the whatever court the dirty was. That's why they did not go to hospital, because they did not believe, or did not believe about medicines and doctors and modern medicine and so forth.
Yeah, but they gave her THC.
But he sure believed in giving her CBD.
And
And
THC.
she believed as well of smoking some weed and some getting high. She definitely believed in that.
Why is he not being? Why is he not being?
I don't know
held
about
accountable?
Zed or the real name of him, but Jason is in federal custody. The one that drinks his urine, the one that testified, is in federal custody, so I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon either.
But the husband was
No,
not.
but I'm talking
And he
about the
has
father.
3 other wives.
I don't know about that
head
one.
honcho of this thing. He also needs to be held accountable because of what he was doing.
See,
Totally agree.
I've been screaming that on my channel. Number one, I think they need to put her in a mental hospital and get her stable, then serve a sentence of maybe 15, 20 years, give her an opportunity to reform. And because I think in the core, she's a good person. I don't think she's matured enough and grown enough to even know who she is, but she should serve some time.
That
I'm not
too,
saying get
and
off
her
free.
brain isn't
He should be in
finished,
jail.
fully developing. It's not until
No.
the age of 24, 25 that the brain finishes developing
The age that
anyway.
she is now.
so-
But the thing is, she started doing drinks early on, so I don't think her mind is ever going to be right because of all the years and everything, of all the abuse that she already has on her mental health, no matter what she do, she's never going to be right. So, yeah.
I don't know about that because I look at Andrea and I think if a person wants to be right, you guys don't know all my past. I've gone through hell and I chose to better myself. I've not been a criminal, but I chose to look at what I went through and either do I allow it to destroy me and I went through depression. I went through a really rough time mentally and I
And
am
that's
who I
the thing
am
with it.
now.
Like she went through that. So there's other people walking around this earth that probably went through a similar situation that she went, and no one killed no one. They did not kill the baby of 13 months, and then tries to unalive herself. There's a lot of people that's gone through a lot of bad situations. I might not only be 32, but I went through hell and back so many times in my life. And I never killed nobody. No matter what
once again,
situation I went through.
there's also, I don't disagree with you. I just always think I'm a person who wants to hope that there is a chance. And I think that at her age, with what she's gone through, she should be afforded that
I think
chance. And
that's
maybe
where
behind bars.
extenuating circumstances come in.
Maybe behind bars, but I'm not going to count her out as a human being. She did deplorable. It's horrible. I don't condone it. I have. So, but anyway, I'm not against what anybody has said here. The point I'm trying to say is our system is either black or white. And our system does not have anything in place for victims who commit crimes under being a victim. And that to me is something that I hope one day that I can possibly affect by going and getting a degree in criminal justice and going into this field. Because I see victims all the time who are forced to do things and participate, or they get so screwed up, they choose to do things that we normally wouldn't do to get out of the situation and harm themselves or others in the process. I know a girl who unalived somebody here in Texas to get out of human trafficking. She figured I'd rather be in jail for the rest of my life than to be where I'm at. the victims who create crime. There should be something in between. I appreciate you listening.
I get you, but I believe it's like, to be fair, yes, justice, and they sometimes think that, you know, analyzing someone might be the last resort thing that they might have, but that goes from case to case. With Chloe in this trial, she had the opportunities to leave. True, the kid made her stay or anything, but she had 65K in her bank account. Can you not do anything with 65K? And how can she at 20 have 65K in her bank account?
It was from the COVID money and the family, I think.
They haven't explained that. How can you at 20 have 65K in your bank account?
Didn't she take it from the family money when they all got that money from the COVID?
About those church thingies.
Yeah.
They were putting it under they were putting it under her name,
right?
And the other wives' names, I bet.
Oh, that's what. Good point. Good point. In those situations, we heard with some of the David Koresh, their monies were put in the bank accounts with the girls who were like 15, 16, 17. They had $100,000 in a bank account. That wasn't their money. It was in their name because they were hiding it from the government because they didn't want his group or him to appear to have money. So they were diversifying it.
Organization.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about that. Good point.
So the thing is, True Crime Addict, and I have not watched this case. Okay, I saw Jason on the stand with his urine. But I will tell you from a standpoint, mental health standpoint, there can be, it's hard to understand if you've never been there, but there can be, you can have, maybe the 65K was her money. Okay. And I'm not saying for her, I'm going to do a generic because I don't know anything about the case. But when you have people who are abused, okay, in whatever way it might be, if it's domestic, DV or SA or trafficking, whatever the case may be, they could have all of the assets in the world and they still can't get away because it's a mental thing. It's
called mental prison.
And there are some people in this world, I don't know you, Ada, but I would say based on what you've said on here, there are some people in this world that make a decision to change what they're doing. Okay. And they have the strength to do it. And there's some people in this world that even if they wanted to do it, they mentally, physically, whatever the case may be, they can't do it.
I want to respond to you.
I completely agree. I was one of them. I did not want to leave my ex-husband. And I was a victim of DV to an extreme that I did not want to leave. And my mom and my brother and my sister had to drag me out of the house we shared to be able to leave that situation. I completely see. But I also understand that people need to be accountable for the things that they made, the mistakes that they made. Yes, she probably regrets analyzing her daughter and everything else, but I believe in justice, and I think she should pay for the crime that she committed.
We're not saying. I'm not saying she should not pay.
With you there. I think there's a happy medium though. I think there's a place where you can make someone pay for their crime, but also if there's
extreme extenuating
circumstances, then you have to factor that in. You have to factor that into the sentencing. Like when
I'm not saying to throw away the key, but probably give her a few years to straighten her up. Like about 5 years, 10 years, just to open her eyes and make her grow a little bit.
I don't disagree.
So real quick, because we're just trying to figure this out. So I don't know how we're going to do this, but Dr. Bullbutter has something to say. So we're going to pull her up.
Yeah.
Hang on before you do that.
QB, hang on before you do that. I've got to jump off here. My daughter-in-law and son and their baby have a family pictures here in a couple of hours. I need to go help her get ready. So I need
Thanks
to jump
for
off here.
coming.
But I had
Yeah.
a great time with everybody, and I hope we get to do this
Thank
again.
you.
And thank you for
Oh,
inviting
we're
me.
definitely
Yes,
gonna do it again.
virtually.
It was nice to
Okay.
meet you, the alternate juror.
Yes, it was nice
Yes,
to meet
we did
all of
like
you.
you.
And I look
Carmen,
forward
are
to
you
doing
Thank
this
you for
legit?
again.
coming.
Alternate, is Carmen really your spawn?
Yes, she
Mhm.
is.
Aw.
I love that.
Yes, she is.
Hi,
And
Mom.
Gabby
I
is
love
my
mom-daughter duos.
Gabby's my
Aw.
she's my honorary spawn. So
All right, cool.
so
I love
but
that.
yeah, that's actually my daughter. So she lives down in Texas. She's not far from Ada.
Well, wait a minute.
Right on.
She's almost 7 hours from me in Texas.
Oh, I
That's
thought
not
you
too
said
far.
yeah, that's a longer than I thought farther away than I thought she was.
Texas is big. 7 hours is still in the same state. Ow, ouch.
Oh, we
Oh,
can
yeah,
go 12
Yeah,
hours and almost be in the same state.
Texas is a lot.
It is very
When
much.
I lived there for a while. I don't live there now. I lived there for a while, and when I first moved there and I got to the border, I was like, "Yay, I'm here!" And I was not. It was still 4 hours in and 4 hours down, and I was like, "What do you mean? I still have 8 hours? This is ridiculous."
Where did you live? Where did you live?
All right,
So,
my
well,
dogs are
alternate,
winding
thank you
up.
so much.
So, all right, thank you guys.
Where did you live
Great
in
day.
Texas?
You too. I was waving at you guys
Bye.
like you guys could see me. So,
Yeah, I was doing the same thing. So
all right, I'll see you.
All right, so
Yeah.
Toxic, I'm gonna pull Bull Butter up.
Sure.
We get to
And
hear Bull Butter.
you can have at it. I don't know how this works, but we're gonna try it. Did I do it? I think I sent you an invite.
Well, she was
There
there
you
and then she
are.
disappeared.
You're muted.
Unmute yourself.
You're muted on your side.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey.
Hey, Dr.
Hi.
Bull Butter.
So what did
You
you
have the
have?
floor.
What you have the floor? Oh,
And now everything went silent.
Did my hearing aids die or is it quiet?
No.
No, it is very quiet.
Oh, thank God.
No, it's not just you. Even though you're still super low, I have to put literally my headphones inside of my ear so I can hear you.
I am so sorry. My
I
mouth is
think
on
she's
the
having
mic.
some problems with her
Oh,
microphone,
man.
maybe.
Someone needs to
Okay.
talk so to be fill in space.
Well, I will tell you that we've had some people in our YouTube live that were commenting. And I one point bring up until she screams at me. Ronnie or Veronica stated that the young lady, her husband, Chloe's husband, forced her to get $150,000 loan in her name. And that's what they do.
Mhm.
You have 5 wives, each one are forced to get $150,000 loan. Now you can buy $1 million home. Because they were going to
and I
buy
think that
property
there
with
was
it.
also testimony or something that said that they had also used a lot of that during the lockdown when the government was offering those
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
assistance to like pay your employees.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they were
loans.
making LLCs left and right.
Yep.
Yeah. So I really appreciate everybody's views because it's great because it makes us think. There's just one thing that I think all of us learn as we go through becoming who we are. There is never an easy answer. And usually the answer you have is not going to be the right one. That's not what's going to happen. It's just, we can't fix it and it sucks.
I think that we have to, and I think we all do that as true crime, fans. You can't take what's on the surface. You got to dig deeper.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
You-
because there's so much that the media will show and not. Yeah. everything. So you have to dig deeper. You have to listen to different sources and compare what you have out there.
And you
Hey,
have
Carmen,
to listen to
you just
sources
wrote
that
to
don't
me.
agree with you.
Yeah.
So-
Carmen just
Now, if you're talking about, people putting out crap, I want to see receipts. Okay. You can talk all the game you want. I want to see receipts. And if you don't have receipts, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But I want to hear both sides, because I like to understand why people think different than I do. What
You
are
know
you
what?
seeing that maybe, I don't know, maybe you're seeing something that I didn't see. Maybe
Well-
I missed something. And so I really like to hear both sides, and I can have a respectful conversation with somebody.
Mhm.
If they're respectful, but I will tell you, if you're not respectful,
Yeah.
I probably won't be respectful back.
Well, here's
I'll
the
be
thing with
diplomatic.
comes with maturity.
And I'll be professional, but I can match energy.
We have somebody in comments who I'm horrible with names. Angela. I would love to hear why people think Karen Reed is guilty.
Yep.
Before we go there, I want to say this, y'all. My mama has the same car that Karen Reed has, and I've done my own research. My son is 6'4.5", 6'5". I will just say, I'm the type of person who'll go out there and look at it myself. There's a lot of bull going on with that car. Just saying.
Mhm.
No matter whether she did it or not,
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of bull going on with that car. Because my mama let me push around and thump and bang on that thing, not enough to break it. There's no way that tail light would have busted the way it is without it. I mean, looking the way it does. I also used to do automotive repair body work way back in my early 20s with my ex-significant other. And I can tell you, as someone who's worked on cars and put cars together and put parts in and did bondoing and straightening metal, it didn't
way.
happen the way the state's claiming. Okay, I'm shut up.
Oh, sorry. I was just doing some research on the background. Sorry, I know you're talking about Karen Reed now, but Michael Benyon, the guy, the Chloe's husband, whatever he was, is in federal prison, so for 15 years. Sorry, me doing sidetracks. Sorry.
Oh, we're good.
You're okay, Angela. So I don't know if is there anybody on the panel that thinks Karen Reed is guilty?
I thought she was at
No,
first because
there's
I
no
didn't know anything
chance
about it.
From what I've heard and seen from the trial, I'm not convinced.
Did y'all see all the new docs that dropped yesterday?
I'm
New
working
docs?
on
I
it.
haven't had a chance
No.
to read them.
Yeah, I think I put them. Did I put them in there? Hold on, let me look.
I'm going to do my Sunday night live tomorrow night. Y'all are welcome to come in and join and speak or just watch. Y'all have an open invitation to come on my lives. But Sunday night live is kind of like what we're doing here. I'm going to go through all of those.
Ada, I would love to come, but it's like midnight for me. I need to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, girl, to work. I'll watch on the replay.
If you
having a
just so
hard time
happen
because
awake,
I do
at the
almost
beginning.
everything on my phone, and I'm on my computer, and so I'm trying to look up on my phone and still be on here and still do all the things. Also, huge doc drop in Coburger too yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, I
Mhm.
have some reading to do tomorrow.
Hey, Ronnie,
And Taylor said, "Hold
can
my
you make
beer."
sure we have those, please?
Oh, here's what's, and I mean, we could get into all these whatever these crazy cases. Here's my
Dr.
thing with
Bullbutter
Coburger.
believes.
Okay,
Dr. Bullbutter believes Karen
here's
Reed
my
is
thing with
guilty.
Coburger. Huh?
Dr. Bullbutter just said, I believe Karen Reed is guilty.
So okay,
Get
Can you
back
come
up
up?
here, Dr. Bullbutter.
I wanted
Come
to.
on, just make sure you get that mic going.
Mm-hmm.
No judgment. We want to hear
Yeah, no judgment. I want to
another
know.
opinion.
Yeah, it's always fun to have someone that thinks completely different than you and see things through somebody else's eyes.
What's interesting. Because I think Dr. Bullbutter also said they thought that Richard Allen was guilty. I think I could be wrong. Because
so.
that's been an interesting. It's been an interesting dynamic for me.
No,
We're not going to kill you.
No, we are not going to kill you,
no.
Dr. Bullbutter. We actually want to hear another opinion. We have
Yeah, I
our
really
opinion,
do.
and I want to understand
Mm-hmm.
the other side of the coin. And like,
When I
we're not
say-
going to attack you. We're not that type
No.
of people.
Well, I
You
was.
know.
When I say that I really want
We
to know,
know how to make your body. Sorry.
I
but
thought
here's
Karen
what's an
Reed was
interesting dynamic
guilty.
to me, though, Dr.
When I-
Bullbutter. I really do want to hear your opinion, because the dynamic that's been so crazy for me is that there are so many people that don't think Karen Reed is guilty, but do think Richard Allen is guilty. It's the cases, other than there's big differences, but there's also a lot of similarities. And so I don't be afraid.
We're nice people. We're crazy, but nice.
Here's the thing, Dr. Bullbutter. If you come up and you're uncomfortable, or you think that we're being mean or whatever, you can leave. We can't hold you here. But
Exactly.
I promise you that we won't be afraid. I mean, we won't be afraid. We won't. I mean,
All right,
Fight.
Dr. Bullbutter,
no
if this makes
pressure,
you feel
it's no
any
pressure.
better, if this
Yeah,
makes
true,
you
no
feel,
better, yeah.
if this makes you feel any better,
Here.
I
All right,
thought,
there
There we go. Good job.
Okay.
Thank you.
yay! I
you.
thought Karen Reed was guilty because I didn't know anything about the case when I started following it. And I really went into it, just the little I heard, thought she was guilty. And it took a lot to convince me otherwise. So, Dr. Bullbutter, I was in your boat for a very long time. So I'm not going to
Initially,
attack
so
you
was
for
I.
thinking she's
When
guilty.
I first heard about it, I was like, "Ooh, she killed him." She
What
so ran
changed
him
my
over.
mind is looking at my mama's car and going through the evidence with the car and backing up at 25 miles an hour myself. Go ahead.
And you didn't video that?
I
You could
I
post
was
that on
terrified
social
too
media,
because I was
whatever.
newbie.
Video that and put that out.
I was a
Yeah.
newbie. I was
I wanna
terrified,
see
and I
all
was
that
in mama's
work.
car.
Okay, do I have to
Other
adjust
mama, not you,
anything?
mama.
No, you're
Nope, you're
perfect.
good.
Yep, perfect.
Am
Hello.
am I really okay? Nobody
Yes.
You're really
hurt
okay.
me.
Love you.
Nobody hurt me. I'm scared of the free Karen Reed people. I'm really afraid. Nobody.
I
No,
don't
not-
speak English, so it's okay.
That's not allowed here. You're
I'm
going to be
really
fine.
afraid, but this is really what I think. Okay, so you wanted to know what I really think.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is what I think. Now, whether or not
Yep.
I think that they did a good job proving it is a whole nother thing.
That's fair.
I would have done a better job than Lally proving it. So I hope that this new prosecutor can make a better showing. I would have done better with the whole dog bite thing than Lally did. I was screaming at my TV the entire time. Like, it was really bad. I thought my neighbors from my apartment complex were going to have a fit because I was losing my skull. And I'm a doctor, as everybody knows. I'm not just called Dr. Bullbutter. I'm Dr. B in real life. So I know some things about science and biomechanics.
Agreed.
I effed up. And I would do that to say, Daddy, I effed up really bad. I hit something. I hit something, Dad. I really effed up and I need your help. I'm telling
Can you all
you,
hear it
as
now?
soon as I heard she called her father at 1 something in the morning, as soon as I heard it, the first thing I thought in my head, the very first thing, and that's all I had to hear, was she hit him. I'm telling you, I didn't have to hear anything else, but she called her father at 1 something in the morning. Because in the snow, in this big snowstorm that was coming, there's nothing else going on. Your father's in, he's in his 70s. What the hell do you need your 70-some-year-old father for? What are you bothering him for other than to say, Daddy, I effed up, I hit him. I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. What do I do? I hit him. I'm telling you, I'm daddy's girl. I know this, and I'm single. For those of you who are married or have been married, you don't understand, but I do. Daddy is the dude you call when you've effed up and you don't know what to do. I'm telling you. She hit him. I'm telling you she did. When
He
it
couldn't have hit him, but doesn't mean that she killed him.
she hit him, but she didn't kill him.
Yeah, you can hit someone who's not killing, and being left alone in the snow, that probably would kill him.
My only thing is
So
the
she hit him. Okay, wait.
injuries that he sustained to his arm do not match up to him being hit.
No, it does not.
Those injuries, first of all, those injuries, if the defense really thought, I mean, truly thought, that those injuries matched up to dog bite.
I'm not saying that they matched up to dog bites. I'm just saying it didn't even match up to being hit by a vehicle. I'm thinking that if he had passed out, you had those snow plows, they might have moved him without realizing it. And that's where those little marks would have been, like the lacerations on his arms came from.
I had
That's
a
what I'm
different view
thinking.
of the laceration on the arms. Remember the glass that was broken and the pieces that they found out there? And they said he got out of the car with the glass.
Hey, we can hear you really good now.
Whoa,
What
whoa,
did you
whoa.
do?
What'd you do?
I don't know what I did. I didn't do
You
anything.
don't have to stick the headphones in anymore.
The gods, the sound gods answered our prayer. So
I'm sorry to
what
interrupt.
I believe is a possibility is they talked about him having a glass. They found pieces of glass. When you look at the arm, if it's bent and you're fighting with the glass and say she got it or another person, and the glass is broken and it cuts against your arms, it would look very similar because it's like a tooth. It punctures and it tears. It's a fetch. It's a far fetch. But when I first saw that glass come out of the bag in trial, once again, I knew nothing about the case. I was learning everything as the juror was. At the time, I was the alternate juror, you know. And but that said, I saw that glass and I went, aha, I have been on as a first responder on a scene of a lot of bar fights and glass involved in fights. And it looked like to me more of a glass than it was the vehicle or a dog. I was a dog groomer. Like I said, I've done a lot of jobs. I was a dog groomer. I
Yeah.
had my own business and I've been bit by dogs. In my humble
And
opinion,
even then, that doesn't even say that she did it.
right. But she could have thought she had backed up and hit him while she was drunk driving and then calls dad.
Mhm.
But I was with you, Dr. Bullbutter. I was thinking the same thing. Why did she call dad? Why is she panicking? Why would you panic a few hours after being away for someone and thinking something bad happened? Unless you thought maybe you backed up drunk and hit him.
Yeah, but then you have the McCabe, so why are they searching how long to die in the snow at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Well, I think something else about all of those searches. I really do. I know you guys have a whole thing about the searches.
Nope.
I
I'm listening.
I do. I think those Celebrate people, like the defense experts for the Celebrate whatever, the one expert I think was an embarrassment for the Celebrate, for the defense. I think the other guy, they had to go back in and redefine stuff because of the mistakes that guy made. I think all the McCabe hoo-ha that everybody made was just a distraction, honestly. I really do. I think that the Alberts and the McCabes, I think that half of it, do I think that it's all great? Do I think that they told the truth on the stand about everything? No. Do I think that means that they killed John O'Keefe? Again, no. Do I think that there are other reasons to not tell the truth on the stand? You bet I do. Do I think that those other reasons could be like affairs that you don't want people to find out about? Maybe. Do I think that do I think that it's all stupid? Yeah, because do I think you guys need to remember before all this went to trial, Yannetti was on TV? Like, I don't mean as a juror. Like, I need you guys to think back before this went to trial. Like, think back with me when Yannetti was on TV and he's quoted as saying, "This was an accident. Of course she didn't hit him on purpose. This was an accident." That's a direct quote from Yannetti's mouth.
But that's the lawyer speaking to protect her. By the way, there's a question for you, Dr. Bullbutter. Your thoughts on ARCCA guys and they being available to both defense and the DA, but the DA didn't call them, but the defense, and the ARCCA basically proving that she could not have done it.
The ARCC.
The ARCA guys. The ARCA guys, the federal guys.
Those are the ones that built the cannon. Those are the
Yep.
That was part of it, but that wasn't all of it.
That was the accident reconstruction, like you built a cannon, you have a fun job kind of guys.
Crash
Angela
daddies.
said the crash daddies.
Crash daddies,
yeah. I hated them. Like I'd fight with them.
I have a question.
I would truly fight with them, and honest to goodness, I would partly win, to be honest with you. Like, I'd have a beer with them and I would partly win. they would partly win, but I'd partly win, and they'd have to admit it. But would the feds hire me? No, because I don't have the kind of fancy resume they do. But have they worked with humans and biomechanics the way that I have? No.
So what are your thoughts on the biomechanics of the glass? If it was the glass that made the cuts and scratches.
The things that they didn't take into consideration is a human being in motion, indifference in motion. Like, okay, because you guys have to understand, by training, I'm a podiatrist, right? So I've studied gait and the way people move. Like, I've taken biomechanics as classes. Okay. So you guys need to understand that. And what I know for a given fact, is that we don't know if John O'Keefe was standing still. We don't know if he was moving. I don't know if he was standing on his left foot. I don't know if he was standing on his right foot. I don't know if he was taking
We don't know if he
steps.
was bent over.
Right. I don't know if he was slipping on the snow. I don't know
Good
any
points.
of that. So wait. Just wait. So it is impossible. The ARCA guys are full of, now you guys, I was just telling people yesterday that I'm a consecrated virgin, so I will not use the word that I want to use so badly in my life. Can someone else use it so that I don't have to?
BS?
The ARCA guys are full of
cow dung.
Caca?
Yes. Actually, okay, wait. The ARCA guys are full of bull butter. They are not permitted to say that it is impossible for her to have hit him, because they cannot know that. It is impossible to know that. I'm sorry, they can't know that. They don't know where John O'Keefe was located. It is impossible to know that.
A lot of people have questioned the bruising. What can you say about that? That has been a big bone of contention in this case. Lack of bruising.
The problem I have with it is I don't know, because not enough I haven't seen enough data as to exactly how fast the car would have been going when it struck him.
Let's use their theory, 25 miles an hour. They said it was reversing 25 miles an hour.
But was he moving at the time the car was moving?
Let's just assume he was standing.
Still? Then well, I don't know. I've seen some crazy things.
Well, but here's the thing that people didn't take into account. He was in the snow. Snow delays things, does it not? The cold does not.
Well, of course it does. And this is the other problem. Good
point, Andrea.
If he's hit and he takes a long time to die, that's different than if he's hit and he dies right away. If he's hit and he breaks a bone, that's different than if he's hit and he doesn't. If he's hit and he's in snow the entire time versus he's not in cold the entire time, which of course we know that he was, because snow and cold is gonna impede all of that because of something called vasoconstriction. which is where your blood vessels clamp down to keep your blood warmer, to try to keep your core temperature warmer. And that's why bruising is less, which Ada just pointed out. And that's why swelling would be less, which is why when you've got trauma, everybody tells you to put ice on it because you're causing vasoconstriction to your blood vessels, shuts them down, and you bleed less, you swell less.
My butt. Oh my day.
But but the thing is, he was out in the snow for quite a long time.
Sorry, that is my husband in the background. I will mute myself.
Okay.
No, sorry.
There was he was in the snow for quite some time. All the blood would have pooled if he wasn't for sure deceased, which obviously he wasn't. We don't know for sure if he was partially breathing. If
He said
was
they
on the
worked
verge.
him. They said he was. They said they worked him. He was at the he was not pronounced until the hospital.
But
and it was a while at the hospital.
Yes, I understand. But
well, they would have worked on him anyway because he's a cop,
yeah.
and they wouldn't have pronounced him in the street.
Well,
that's not necessarily the case.
I guess what I was getting, you're true. You're right. You're correct. But I have known of a case here when we had that big freeze, and a woman was so close to dying she practically didn't have a pulse. You know, it's at that stage. So they
you're
don't
not
really know
dead
where he
until
was.
you're warm and dead.
Warm and dead. That's true.
I agree. But my thing is when she started they started the CPR, that gets the heart moving, that tries to get the blood moving a little bit, so that can alter some of this a little bit. But the thing is that my questions on a lot of this stem more with I think Andrielle did say it right. Argument right now, I'm just hearing arguments on how she could have hit him. Not clear and convincing evidence that she did hit him. And even if she did hit him, the only proof was a phone call to her dad. I think at best, if she did hit him, I don't think it was intentional. I think it was drunk. And I think that there is definitely count 2 would be the hanging count. I don't agree that count 1 and 3 apply here.
I have a visual of a situation where he gets out of the car, and QB can attest to this because I, talked about this a lot because I was trying to think of any situation where she would or could have hit him. And in my mind, I can see him getting out of the car to go into the house to party on, and she's not paying attention to where he's at or what he's doing. He's not paying attention to her. He slips on the snow and ice and falls. He's on his knee. She doesn't realize it, and she backs up or accidentally slides back or whatever, hits him, doesn't realize she's hit him, and then goes on. And then here comes the dog, because it's a police dog, German Shepherd, and is, at this point, he's not doing anything to the dog's owner. So maybe he's like, okay, I need to help this dude, and so he grabs John O'Keefe by the arm and tries to drag him to the house. And that's where the dog bites and scratches come from, possibly. That's just a scenario. I know it doesn't work, but that's the only way I can make it make sense, that she hits him and accidentally, because if she would have just hit him, there would have only been the issues with his legs. He had nothing on his legs.
That's it. Okay. So here's the thing. Like Ada said, we can say all of these things, and there's all of these possible things that could happen. But Dr. Bullbutter, you're talking about biomechanics. Okay. You understand that it does not matter if he was bent down, if he was standing up straight, if he was moving, if he was not moving, if he was, no matter where he was in this scenario, if she hit him, and I can attest to this, if she hit him, his body would have sustained more damage. No way, no how. I've picked people, I've literally scraped people off of the road
Yep.
for under 25 miles an hour. I know, Ada, you're a chaplain. Okay.
And
I was a
first
firefighter
responder,
medic.
firefighter.
And so I understand the biomechanics. I understand what you're saying, but you're going off of, and I want you to understand, I'm not coming at you. I'm having a conversation with you. My personal opinion is that you're coming from what you think and not what you're seeing. What you're seeing, you're basing it on, she called her daddy at 1:00 in the morning. And I think the ARCA guys absolutely proved their case. They used physics, they used biomechanics, and yes, they used a cannon. Because that's what physics do. Oh wow, I can't. My brain just is.
You're fine.
No, I can't. I can't say it. But I can tell you that their explanation and their data was a heck of a lot better than Trooper Paul's.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I'll be interested to see what the Commonwealth brings, because they're getting someone else now. So show me the evidence. But the evidence that I see so far is there is no way that vehicle hit him. Biomechanically, physically, no. I have seen people hit at 10 miles per hour and have more damage than he had.
At this point, I just want the whole thing to be over. Like, I'm just so sick of it. Honest to goodness, what has gotten bigger than the whole case, you guys, is the vitriol between the two sides.
And I agree with you. And that's that's the far left and the far right. And it's unfortunate. It's terrible. And we have the same thing in Delphi. But that doesn't change the fact that there are people on trial for their lives. There are victims' families that need answers. And
it was sad for.
I hate it. I hate the vitriol, and I choose. Here's my phrase: don't feed the trolls. Okay,
exactly.
I don't feed the trolls. I see a troll, I ignore a troll. Okay, I'm not giving them any ammo, because what they want is to engage. They want to fight.
Yeah,
and I'm not giving them that. That's like, I
don't understand, like, why dox people? Like, why? I don't understand, like, the whole, it's turned into like this whole big thing. And I'm not going to use the media person's like name on here. Like, I don't even want to do that. But like, there are these people that are involved in this thing with Karen Reed case that are like, I don't even, it just frightens me. I don't like it.
I
gross.
agree with you, and it's scary, and it's I get it. It is scary, and it's not okay. And it comes, I hate to tell you, but it comes from both sides. It's both sides. It's the side that I agree with, and it's the side someone else agrees with. It comes from, you always have those polarizing things, and it is very scary. It's very scary.
Can I
have an acquaintance that's going through it right now about being doxxed. It has nothing to do with true crime. Right. I have somebody I know that got swatted. I don't know if y'all know what that is or not, but they call SWAT, and they come and they freaking.
Oh wow, that's horrible.
Oh man, somebody could die. That's horrible.
I have a friend who was swatted. Okay, it's crazy. It doesn't change the fact that there are people and families and victims who deserve to know the truth.
Yeah, like for the O'Keefe's, the parents of John O'Keefe, they deserve to know what happened to their son. They deserve to know exactly what how, you know, sadly, how did he die and get a little bit of justice? And this is not the way. The amount of craziness that the case is taken. Yeah.
And for me,
Yeah.
I'm
That
not
too, and-
willing. Go ahead, Toxic.
I was just saying too, and I mean, it doesn't help with, I call them the McFat Alberts, but the Alberts are a lot of the problem with it too.
It doesn't
They
help
think they
when Chris
run that
Albert is
town,
outside
and
taunting.
you know,
You know,
it's
he's a
just
celebrity.
it's
Just
It
ridiculous.
doesn't help.
Mm.
Guys, I want to say, remember I talked to you about my mom's car, the Cadillac?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
let's talk about that hit real quick. The bumper does come out whether you're standing directly beside it or at the corner of it where that
Yep.
tail light is. Now, if you're on the 100% on the side of it, it's not going to, it's your body will hit first. But that bumper, because she is the same vehicle, same make and model, that bumper hits before it hits the upper body, unless you're leaning into it prior to being hit. Your
But
legs
that
or
means that
thighs
you really have
will.
to be
I
crouched down
can't. I
then.
can't hear.
If-
I'm sorry. I'm deaf, and I'm sorry. I didn't understand y'all. But that bumper will hit your legs before you hit the tail light. Now, what'd y'all say?
Sorry, I said that
Or your
Bumper
head.
hits those legs. What happens is the legs start to crumple.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to take that into consideration. So if he's standing straight up, his upper body would have hit the top of that bumper first.
He's over 6 foot tall. So his
Yeah.
legs would have hit the bumper. His elbow would have hit right at the elbow, not the upper arm. The elbow itself would have hit the corner
Yeah.
of that tail light.
Okay, well, we have in the case file a picture of those arm wounds.
Hold on. Carmen, spawn of AJ, I will answer your question in private. Go ahead. Yeah. I wish I wish I could. You know what? I may go back and redo all this and show y'all if this
you
goes
need
to
to do a
trial.
video and share it, Ada.
Yep. I will. Well,
Because
actually, I
that
won't
will be
show her
interesting.
car. I won't use her car
And
because
I
her
think,
privacy.
Ada, I think you should do it with him standing up, with him bent down, with him turned sideways.
I
No
tell you what
matter
I'm
what,
gonna do.
because
All the
I'm gonna
positions.
rent
I'm
one.
sorry.
I'm
regardless,
gonna rent.
like you
I'm
said,
gonna
that
rent-
bumper would have hit him, and that bumper would have caused damage.
I'm gonna rent one. I don't want to use hers because of license plates and all that. But
You
I am
can
going
pour
to
it out
rent
and
one.
everything now.
Well, I'm going to rent one, and then
Fair enough.
because that way, if there's a scratch or something, if I scratch the bumper with my pants, but I'm going to rent one, and I'm going to do a video.
Hey guys, there is something I wanted to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, I wanted to say I don't think that she intentionally hit him.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I ever believed that, or that she planned it particular. At least I don't think I was ever at that point. I think I was open-minded, but I don't think I stayed there for any given amount of time. But I will say this: the jurors were hung on at least the other counts.
Count two.
So somebody agreed, at least with me, they couldn't come to any kind of decision on possible manslaughter, which is where I was. I will say, I never believed his phone ever went inside. I believed it was outside. And if I believed that, then I believed that he was hit by the car. that's where I was at. I never believed his phone went inside. And if I never believed his phone went inside, then he was hit by that car. That's what I believed. And I believed that she started calling him way too soon after she left him. And if she was calling him immediately, which is what it sounded like to me, screaming, "Where are you? I don't know where you are. I can't find you, John," too soon, then like she would only do that if she believed she hit him. Because why else would you do that?
Okay, let me throw this out at you. The initial phone calls or the initial messages, if I'm remembering correctly, the initial messages that she left were, "Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Pick up the phone. Where are you?" It wasn't until later that she said, "I can't find you." And so for me,
Okay, so
given
why
their
would you
wait.
wait. Why
Dr.
would you
Bullbutter,
say,
wait.
"Where are you"? She
Wait,
knows where
please.
he is. She dropped him off there.
No, but she thought
Dr.
he had
Bullbutter?
walked to the, what was it, the bar that was real close where his friend was?
Or the girl's house, or the other
Yeah.
girl's house. Dr.
Yeah.
Bullbutter, I have not interrupted you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Let me finish my thought, please. So if she dropped him off, okay, he was supposed to go in the house and find out, because she didn't want to go in because she didn't feel like he was invited, because they did not directly invite her. So initially, he was supposed to go into the house, find out if it was copacetic, and come back out. And he never came back out. And she left, in theory. Okay. And so if that's the case, and she left angry, we've seen that both of them, they were both tumultuous. They were both flirting with other people. They were both doing all the things. And if she thought he left and went to that girl's house, or left and went to the bar, she would not know where he was. She would not know where he was because she left.
Well, or could I throw this in there? Maybe it's a context. If I'm messaging my husband and he's not answering me back, I would reply with, "Where are you?" Even though I know where he's at. I don't mean where are you literally. I mean, where are you, as why aren't you messaging me back?
Right. Yeah, I don't feel like she called him right away. She did call him because he was supposed to come back out, and he never came back out. And then she started texting him. But when she was saying, like, "Where are you? Where are you?" it was much, much later. And so I don't know. I mean, maybe she thought she hit him, but let's go with that. If you don't think that she purposefully hit him, then why is anything more than manslaughter on the table?
I don't necessarily think it should be. I mean, I don't think it should be. I think murder is overcharged.
And I think, and so that's where, again, another
But
tentacle. What is it? There's many tentacles. My favorite person, Doug Carter. That's another tentacle then of what I think, because I have a problem with prosecutors and overcharging. I think they do it way too much. And what we get from that is we either get guilty people going free because someone can't get to murder from first degree, or we get to someone who is guilty of manslaughter. I'm not going to bring them up. Somebody mentioned them in the chat earlier. But somebody guilty of manslaughter serving life without parole.
Am I allowed to complain? Can I just say that some jurors are so stupid, I want to smack them all?
I think we should have to have I think you should have to have a juror class, an intensive juror class, before your name ever goes on for a jury summons.
I mean, I know I'm
Amen.
a doctor,
But
and
even that,
everything.
though, a lot
Amen.
of it is your own perception of what something means. So that
Absolutely.
could be
Perception is reality.
But but see, the thing that bothers me is the defense made a whole big deal about the juror instructions, about the question, about the forms. They made a whole big deal on that. I watched the whole trial from gavel to gavel, people, like not even on replay, live. It was insanity. And but me and Alan Jackson, man, his snark, I wanted to smack his snark right off his face.
But if that snark came from the side that you agree with, would you be happy about it?
Nope.
No, I wouldn't be happy about his snark.
I'm just checking.
He said,
I'm just asking.
Even when he was a baby prosecutor, when he prosecuted, what's his name? The Hollywood guy.
Spectre.
What?
Phil Spectre.
Yeah. Spectre. I watched that live when I was was I in my 20s? I'm 50 now, guys. Was I in my 20s when he was a baby prosecutor? I watched AJ when he was a baby prosecutor. I wasn't necessarily fond of him then. So I'm an equal opportunity, AJ, can I smack you please person.
I have a question for everybody.
Yeah.
All right. There's going to be another trial, obviously.
Is there?
I don't think there is, because now with Proctor gone,
can you
might be a bit.
Yeah, but are they gonna have to call him again because he was
He has no credibility. Where is his credibility?
The docs that came out yesterday, they're trying to get all of his text messages disqualified and sealed.
The question I
Why?
have for y'all is, can you watch this trial and put aside everything you think right now, everything you know right now? Can you wipe that slate clean and watch this trial?
I don't think I'm going to watch the
again?
second trial. I'm not going to waste the 99 weeks out of my life with the case again. It will be what it will be.
But is it
Ada,
possible?
I think people would try to come in with a blank slate, but people that are as invested as they currently are, I don't see how they could.
So Jenny will attest to this, I hope. I would have my opinion as to what I think, but Jenny will attest to I am always the one.
I'm sorry,
in the
Kristen.
chat. I'm always the one in the chat going, but we didn't hear that. But we didn't hear that. But they didn't prove that. But they didn't show that. And so my answer to you is, for me, that I would have an opinion of what I think happened, but I can look at it and say, if Brennan comes in and he's got a case and he proves to the jury that and it's a level playing field, I can sit there and listen to it and say, yeah, that if I was a juror and I knew nothing else, yes, they proved their case beyond reasonable doubt. Because that's what I always try to do.
Can we get a GoFundMe started and send Lally back to law school?
No.
But you can send me to law school. You can do it for me.
Why don't we just start a
We'll
GoFundMe?
send ADK first.
Why don't we just start a GoFundMe and send him off somewhere permanently, like on an island to himself, and let him practice law with the coconuts?
Like a beat dog? Did anybody watch the hearing the other day?
Yeah, he was sitting down there quiet, not speaking, and not moving.
I came very close to feeling sorry for him.
Was he even breathing like, or was he just the stature of him?
Just saying, if that man could form a question, I'm not even an attorney. I'm saying he's probably much smarter than me in a lot of things, but man, that man could not form a question.
I have Lally PTSD, okay? If I hear any attorney say, what if any, I cringe. I literally, I'm like, I can't
It's not even Lally that I think of when I hear that question. I always think of what's her face from Johnny Depp.
Amber Heard.
Elaine.
Yeah,
Elaine Hoff. Yeah,
Elaine.
Elaine.
God.
It's a cop out. It's a cop out because you have to do everything in a form of a question. So attorneys that can't form thoughts use that what if any, who if anyone, what if, they use that because it fits the bill. It fits the law. You have to ask the question.
Say if anyone. You have to say if anyone or if any because it keeps you from the leading part of the question. Because if you just say what,
facts.
Because if you just say what did you, or say who did yada yada yada, instead of saying who, if anyone, they have to add if anyone.
But you don't have to say it like that. The law is that you have to ask a question. You cannot make a statement. So you have to say who, what, where, when, how. Because you have to ask a question. Otherwise it's leading.
Guys,
Otherwise
I gotta
you're
interrupt.
testifying.
I got to interrupt. I have some people who are saying it's very difficult. One of them's hard of hearing, that some of us are talking over each other. I'm not trying to be inappropriately disciplining, but it is.
I apologize.
Even for me, it's hard to follow a little bit. And I am signing right now. So, sorry.
I'm very
No, you're
sorry.
right.
That was dead quiet.
No,
Now
I think
nobody's gonna talk.
Right, can I say something then, since everyone is quiet? Did you hear that Beth got removed from the other case that she was presiding in the same courtroom? Brian Welsh?
Yeah.
The same case.
They say it's because she couldn't focus on both of them. Blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah.
Yeah, because Proctor is the same detective in that case as well, and they tried to kick him out as well of the case.
Yeah, well, he's on the no-fly list. He can't testify anymore.
He has no credibility, in my opinion. It's like
he's on the no. I can't remember what they call it for court, but he's on the no. He's
Brady.
What's it called? Brady. Yes. Thank you.
Wasn't
He's on the Brady list.
Wasn't Proctor fired from the MPD?
Yes, he was.
He's finally been fired. Yes.
Yes.
That has been confirmed. But he's on the Brady list, so he cannot testify anymore. Which makes the new case, I'm doing air quotes, very difficult since you can't have the lead investigator testify.
And I think that just charts the credibility of the whole case. So if the lead investigator cannot testify, and then if it comes out in court that he got fired or it doesn't work for the police anymore, that creates doubt in the jurors' mind. In my opinion, it would. So
because they wouldn't be outside of the realm to be able to say, why isn't the lead investigator here testifying? That's what happened in the first trial. I am a firm believer that the prosecution was not going to call Proctor. They tried to get everybody else. And then the defense said, we're going to call him. If you don't call him, we will.
Excuse me. QB, they could do a motion in limine and decide that they state that Proctor is no longer working for the police and make it out of bounds that they say that he was fired. They could just do a motion in limine. They've done stuff like that before in cases
where it's suspect. It's suspect.
Exactly, creates doubt in the jurors' minds of like, why is it then it's not investigating if he doesn't work for the police anymore? You wonder why he doesn't work for the police anymore. Did he get transferred to another station? Did he get fired?
No,
You're not
because
wrong, Dr. Bullbutter, but the
people
thing is
retire
that
all the time. They
But
leave
to
their
those-
police job.
but the
But they still
retirees come
testify.
back and testify. The retirees come back and testify. And you're
Exactly.
not wrong that they could do that, but I think that it still creates doubt because people do retire all the time. They change jurisdictions. They go from state to federal, but they come back and they testify. And for him not to come testify raises doubt.
Exactly.
I got you. I understand. You're exactly right. I'm just saying that they could handle things in motion in limine and do whatever they need to do to agree outside the presence of the jury and find a way to explain it and then just leave it be. And then both
Defense will
sides
never agree to that, but Bev could approve that.
once the court decides, they need to just go with that. I mean, they could disagree,
I'm not going to say
but
Can I hate to change the topic, but somebody asked me a question in our little chat, and I thought it might be interesting because we're going to have more and more of this happening. The question was, you were covering a case regarding someone who's been deported before, but yet was able to come back and commit another crime. Do you think border laws should be more strict? Yes.
I think that will go into the politics side of things, and in that case, I
I'm
will not
talking-
give my opinion because
I
like
wasn't going to go
because
politics.
not politics.
I'm not going to go politic. I'm going to go with that trial that we covered. I'm not going to go politics, I promise, but I do want to say this. In general, I believe that laws need to be changed for, I'm going to put this in a way that's not political. I think a lot of our laws need to be relooked at in this country because a lot of the laws were written during a time that we're facing issues that we no longer face, and they weren't facing the issues that we're currently facing. I think that there are a lot of laws in from state to state that are not consistent, that affects a lot of people. I will say that I think if you commit a crime, and no matter whether you're a citizen of the United States or not, and you commit another crime, we have the 3 strikes rule. But unfortunately, with the 3 strikes rule, it has to be the same exact crime. And I'm studying that right now in college. And it's frustrating because if you have a person who drinks and drives, I was hit by a drunk driver at 9:30 in the morning. Just a month prior, she was arrested for drinking and driving with an open container. Months later, she was arrested again. That was 3 times in less than a year. This person committed a crime. But because she wasn't found guilty of the previous crime, it didn't count towards the 3 strike rule. I just feel that we have some good ideas in laws, but I think that they're not appropriately applicable to today's time. That does include our border laws, but it also includes laws concerning drinking and drugs and other things. Does that kind of answer it?
They're not updated enough.
No.
They're not updated enough. I mean, we
Well,
still
I
have a
can't
law.
I can't really speak on the matter because I'm not in the US. I have I don't have your guys' vision. I completely different because I'm not in the country. So
I'd
I
love to
think
hear
that
what
is
yours
still
are
a
for
mute
you.
thing for me because, yeah.
I want to hear for you guys because I love law in general. So for you guys, I have a question for you. If a person is drinking and driving, if that get whatever the crime is, and they're doing it repetitively, whether coming in from America into your country or they live in your country, How does it handled in your
should-
neck of the woods?
They should just suffer the same consequences as a local, no matter where you're coming from. If you
Exactly.
commit a crime wherever you commit, you should suffer the consequences that they are in that state, country, province, town, whatever it is. I mean, you just accept the consequences of your act, no matter where it is in the world.
So
If you
that's
did the
one of the
crime, you did
issues,
the time.
and that's the issue I have. And once again, not political, it's across the board. People coming into any country should not be given lesser or different considerations. You do the crime, you do the time. It should be fair and equal across the board. If I go over into your country and I commit a crime, I go over there and I'm drinking and driving and I hit somebody and I end the life of somebody, I do your punishment. I'm in your country under your laws.
Exactly.
That's where I was going with that. I wasn't going to go political.
No, I understand. I
Yeah.
don't do politics or religion. I some things too are subjects that I personal, and I will always keep it that way.
Oh, and I agree, but I think this could be, some things could be answered as across the board. And it just irritates me that we have Americans that go overseas and commit a crime and think that they should come home and
We
get off.
have
And then
English
when we have
people
people
going
doing
to
it
the
here,
American committing a crime. I was just listening this morning that there was an English girl that was facing, I think it's life in prison in America because of some international drug trafficking that she was involved in, and someone died in the process. And now she's facing, and she was complaining that she did not think that was fair. It's like, if you did the crime, you should do the time. You just accept the consequences of your actions, no matter where it is.
if you're stupid enough or brave
Exactly.
enough, I should say, or brave enough to try and commit a crime in another country where you have less ability to defend yourself than in your own country, girl, you should go away for a lot longer time for stupidity.
I think that should be charged as a crime. Should be added to the charge list. Stupidity.
But
I
it
think
is
a lot
good
of
thing to
people
think
would have gone
about. I
to
mean,
prison already
yeah.
if stupidity was actually a crime.
Oh, somebody said, here's a good question. The problem is, do you study the laws of every country before you go to it? It's subjective to the crime. Okay, guys, there's just some things that you should automatically know that you shouldn't do.
Exactly. No matter where
And
you
one of
go,
it is
it's
don't
always
drink and
illegal
drive.
almost anywhere to analyze someone. You don't really go with. I don't think when I go on holiday or vacation, sorry, I don't go thinking, oh, I'm going to America, I better not kill anybody, or I'm going there with the intention of killing. I was like, it just.
Well, like in China,
Yeah.
is it China that you can't chew gum? If you get caught chewing gum, you can get in trouble. There's
No
some
way,
laws.
really?
Yeah, yeah, really.
What happens if you get off the airplane and you're chewing gum for your for your ears? You know?
Exactly.
You're done, crime cafe. You're done. Go prison. Bye bye.
Oh no.
Well, you get fined, but the point is that there are some rules and laws that you're not going to know, and they sometimes will have grace for that. But in general, what I call morality crimes, it's pretty much across the board that you don't go and bring a weapon and hold somebody up for their money. No matter where you live, you're going to get in trouble.
Exactly. It's just, and some people think like just because they are foreigners, they think they can do whatever they want. And like, no, the rules apply as well to you. You don't have an exemption card just because you're a foreigner or because you are visiting on holiday or vacation. Sorry. So, yeah.
KBF, I'm tired of American breaking laws in other countries and then whining about it as if they can get off easy, especially in the Caribbean where they have very strict laws regarding pew-pews and pharmaceuticals. Hey, I agree. Americans are not liked around the world for some of this attitude, but also this is a problem with every nation. And I find it interesting that Haley Mouse said in my comments on live, there's not enough room in prison to hold all the stupids. Oh,
No.
it's Singapore.
Oh, no,
Well, and
definitely.
I guess,
Singapore.
I mean, I don't want to get political, but I feel like I don't correlate what you said with immigration laws. And the reason why I say that is that we're all saying if you come into the country and you do a crime, then you should be held accountable. Whether
Right.
you're
Yeah, but
in
then you
America,
should be shipped back with your original country and serve the sentence there. Because then that's
I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, because think about it this way. If you talk about Ibarra, if he went back to Venezuela, their laws there are much different than our laws. And he could leave again and come back and do it again. No.
Yeah, but
keep him
then
here.
that's the thing. You guys, not me, because I'm not in America. You're going to be paying taxes and everything, not getting political, being paying taxes and everything to house him in a prison in the States, while
I
he's more
agree with
comfortable
that.
in the States than back in Venezuela or wherever he's from. Sorry, I don't know.
I don't know anything
disagree.
about
I
that
think
case.
on that front, I don't disagree with you, and I think that there's really no good answer there. But what I can tell you is that I travel to Uganda, and maybe it's my true crime background, maybe it's my law background, maybe it's whatever background that I have. I'm like ADA, or I keep wanting to call you ADA. I'm like
That's okay.
Ada. I've done all the things, but I'll tell you right now that I know their laws up, back, left, and right, and I also have attorneys on the state side, and I have an attorney on Uganda side, because
You're
it's
smart.
no joke.
You're smart. Well, KBF said, I live on the border, and everyone, quote, knows not to have a lead shooter or ammo in their cars when they go across. There are even huge billboards about it, but yet they still do it. I get it. This is a topic that is hard to cover. I can tell you what I think for my state and what I live with and what I deal with. And that is, we need to be tougher on criminal activity across the board, not just the illegals, but the people who live
Yeah.
here committing the crimes with the illegals. Sometimes you have the head of the criminal activity group within the U.S., but they hire people outside to come back and forth. There's all kinds of problems. There's no easy answer to this. I just feel that we are tough on some crime, like a minuscule amount of stuff that smokes and rolls in little paper. And I'm not saying that shouldn't be illegal. I'm not going to get in that boat. I'm not going there, whether legal or not. But when something's illegal, and sometimes you think it's a smaller crime, but yet you have somebody unalive somebody, and then the person who does the smaller crime gets more time than the one who unalive somebody. I just don't think the system is balanced for the crime. I think it's left up to too much discretion, and I think our system needs a reform. And I'll shut up.
No,
You have the brother of the Jose Ibarra, who I was reading about. He was deported twice.
Yep.
And still came back. So as far as sending them over, the ones that are being, and I don't want to get political either, but there's a lot of them that have come over here into the country that were kicked out of their country because they were criminals.
But how then that is a problem of the US if they are being kicked out of their own countries? That's not a US problem. It's a person's problem that got kicked out, right?
Hey, Carmen.
So since I was the one that asked the
Carmen.
question, and that's also who I work for, that's why I asked. So
Carmen,
we just try to get a better understanding. We don't want anything like political views or anything like that. We just want people's personal opinions instead of trying to form it like with the feds and stuff, trying to form our own and just saying everybody is the same, has the same opinions, because they don't.
All right, Carmen.
Yeah.
And this is this is not political, but I will tell you my personal opinion on this, and I'm not going to offend anybody. Please don't take it offensive. If you don't live here, it's hard to fully understand. My papa has a ranch. We have had a lot of illegal people coming on that ranch. The house burnt down. Some people thought it was lightning. It may not have been. Illegals have destroyed property. And these are not the nice illegals, okay? These are the coyotes and the bad guys, okay? This is not the ones who truly want they're not the innocent ones. But I can say this. I hate the fact that these people who are not nice, I'm going to call them the criminal illegals, that come across with the intent to commit crime, to make money, to send back home, pisses me off that they can come and go back and forth and cause a lot of damage to the ranches and the property that these people. My papa bought that ranch when he was in the 70s. He in the 1970s. He's now turning 90. He's had it a long time. He worked blood, sweat, and tears. There were times that he barely could make the bills, and he had to rob Peter to pay Paul to keep this property. And it's gorgeous. It's nothing super fancy, and had a house on it. And it just somehow reason burnt up. Nobody knows why. But what is upsetting is that these ranchers have their fences cut, fires started. We've had multiple fires burning down structures. There's a lot of things that happen, a lot of trash, needles, intimate protection, things that start with the C, all of this stuff left all over the place. And it's up to him to pay someone to clean it up. I have to repair the fence. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of damage of dollars a year that he has to pay. Nobody's reimbursing him because there's nobody for him to go to reimburse him. So these people come over here and commit crimes, and it is deplorable that the ranchers and the people and the homesteaders who live here have no recourse. That's where I have an issue. And then
I get that. Obviously, my viewpoint is completely mute because I'm not in the US.
Right.
So
Understand. But the people coming over here committing a crime, get deported, serve the 2 years in our jails, get deported, come right back again, back and forth until they get caught again. It's the proverbial wheel. It's got to stop. It's not
Right.
It's got to stop. And the problem is people like, not necessarily my father, but they're people who lose the desire to be on that property, or feel they're so unsafe they have to sell something that they've worked a lifetime to build and achieve their dream, and now are not safe enough, just like that George Allen, are not safe enough to live there anymore. And that's not fair to us. It would be like me going into somebody else's country and doing that to them. I would be in the wrong. So it's
Correct.
horrible.
And that's where, for example, there's been somebody that we've deported 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And they came back and they commit crimes, and they commit crimes against kids. And that's for me, like I said, I have to be careful what I say here. It's an issue. And we're dealing with something now that it was a group of 150. We've caught 100 of them. But there's still 50 more to go, that they basically they made big, bold statements that their goal was to make 9/11 happen again. That's the issue that I have. I deal with 30 plus different countries at any given time. And that was more my question. There's a lot that I think that we need to be a little bit more transparent about, like putting into the media and letting people know. But they definitely need to be more strict, because I deal with the criminal side of it. Those are the people that I see, but I watch them walk out the door every single day.
Yeah. And I deal with the victim side of this. I have worked with a lot of women who have been trafficked. Okay. But I will say this. That is one reason why I love this forum, because it gets what's hidden in the public. Just years ago, 5-6 years ago, someone could not admit that they had been sex trafficked, like me. Could not admit it. It brings the dark into the light. The more we talk about crime, the more the courts are showing the crime, the court system on the public, like what we're doing. We're educating. We talk about the jurors. They need to be educated. Well, what if they got more access to see this kind of stuff? I think that this community Crime Cafe, Carmen Bullbutter, Toxic, True Crime Addict, QB Investigators, all of us, RA, Law and Lumber, all of us, EDB, we are opening up a world so people are not so naive. We are not safe. I was a military brat. I lived in San Antonio. 5 military bases in San Antonio. And I always knew if we had World War III, San Antonio was one of the first places that was going to be hit. One of the first. And I live near the border. I live in Texas. And this is what we deal with. Life is not safe. But I love the fact that we're educating the community on laws. I had a lady get a hold of me the other day saying, I watched one of your shows and I was pulled over and they were asking me questions. And if I didn't know, I would have answered. So kudos to all of us for what we do. And I appreciate everybody's viewpoint. I guess I lost you. Hello? My hearing aids. Carmen, are you talking? Dang it. My life. Can y'all hear me? I hear nothing. I don't know what's wrong. Are they there? I can't hear anybody. I have no sound and I didn't touch anything.
Like there's something not right.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and I was talking to my mom about this, and it breaks my heart. I'm in law enforcement to say this. Law enforcement has to be involved. Why are you covering up so much if you're not? And it's
Well,
and they
you have
wonder
to
why they
hide.
get such a bad name. I think that 110%
I have no sound.
there's a law enforcement that is involved in this, and they're trying to cover it up.
Well, and it kind of
And
makes
I
you think
respect
all
you for
back to
saying
the
And the higher elites, because they're all
Nothing.
voted in.
I'm
Every person
mate, I
in a
can't hear anything.
higher thing in Delphi, they were voted in.
It
Again,
makes you
Angela
think
said, just
too
like
about what's
Pannel.
going on. Is it Letcher County, Kentucky? What county was it in Kentucky where the cop shot the judge in the?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh!
in Kentucky, yeah.
You can't hide that. It's
mean,
on video.
Right, but what I mean is that there, you know, you have something obviously wonky is going on between the judge
Well,
and people. You know,
one of the cops was in using the judge's chamber and taking advantage of women who were in trouble with the law
right,
and
and
having
then
relations with them in the judge's thing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
That
whoa,
is
whoa.
Right.
The guy
the
that-
allegation.
So I mean, where is the video for that? They certainly have the video for Stein's shooting Mullen, but
Right.
Where's the video of the
where's
other stuff?
the video of this police officer who's been apparently charged and is doing time for taking advantage of these women?
Okay,
Oh, absolutely.
And
It's just like Delphi.
Guys,
It's Delphi all over again, which we got 71 documents and videos that all of a sudden just disappear.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
it's-
guys.
and that's-
News that just all of a sudden just disappear.
And that's the
So-
corruption within law enforcement, and I absolutely hate it.
Can I
You know,
ask?
and look at the Birchmore case.
Mhm.
Right, exactly. Birchmore and then Reed. I mean, you have all of this with Karen Reed. You have it with Sandra Birchmore, who they're neighbors, basically.
And it's, yeah. You know, and then with Delphi, you've got the Flora fires that's been, you know,
Transparency.
Lyric and her cousin Elizabeth. I know it's
And-
not in Idaho, but they think there might be because their deaths are very similar to what Libby and Abby case. So, I mean, what's going on here? Is this a serial killer that's going around?
I think Ada is trying to speak. I don't know if she's there or not.
Who, me?
Oh, yeah, so we can hear you now. Can you hear us?
I don't know what happened. That's the sad thing about hearing aids. It just stopped working, just boom. And I had to plug in with different ears, but that means it's going to be a little harder to hear, but I'll make it work. Self-accommodating. That's what you learn to do. But question, are we speaking about the judge that got unalived?
Yeah.
Yes.
You were a second
Okay,
ago.
I have questions about that because I have a question. So was he committing the acts or was it his office that what is it? The police officer in court, what do they call him?
The bailiff.
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 Was it the
Yeah.
bailiff
No,
or was it the judge?
From
The
my
ju-
understanding, it is the judge,
It was
and
a-
that officer flipped out because that judge was also having relations with that officer's daughter.
Really? Are we
Yeah,
sure about
okay,
that? Is
so-
there
and
evidence?
Can I just say that first of all, we don't have all the information yet.
Yeah, that's
No.
all. That's all
Very true.
speculation.
The word
Very
on
true.
the crime streets is that they were using the judge's office to get favors so that they didn't have to wear the house arrest, the
Ankle monitor?
Ankle monitors.
the ankle monitor. Thank you. Also, allegedly, the judge was having relations with the sheriff's 16-year-old daughter.
16?
But then also there was some other stuff that the sheriff was saying that they were trying to kidnap his wife and child. I don't know if it's a mental health crisis thing. I think it's too early to try to make a
If there's
determination.
if there's some kind of sex trafficking going on,
Right.
then I mean, for him to say, "Hey, they're going to kidnap my wife and daughter," because he knows
Right.
shit. So
Right.
I mean, it's all possible until we get that. I
It's
can't
just-
say that for sure.
For me,
It's a
too
legend.
early. For me, it's too early because we haven't seen it. What I thought was funny is the dude was arrested, put in jail, and he was still the sheriff.
Well,
like,
it's a
maybe you
process
should
to get him
resign.
removed.
Right?
Well, he did. He ended up
He did.
resigning.
He
He
did.
did, but I'm saying initially he
But he-
didn't.
yeah. He was still in jail, and he was like, "I'm the sheriff." It's like,
They're
you're
like-
incarcerated.
Well,
maybe you should resign, sir. Yeah.
well,
yeah.
I will say, no
So
matter
what are you all feeling about all these deaths that are happening in the jails and in the prisons?
that's nothing
There have
new.
been
It's just coming to
So
light.
many. There's been so many of them in the news lately.
So,
It's just coming around.
I'm just surprised nobody's talking about that either.
well, that's the thing that I was saying earlier. I hate to say it, we don't want to be transparent about that stuff because we don't want to be in the news. And I mean, I work at a holding facility for immigration, and I've worked in many county jails. I've worked in state prisons, and we don't talk about it. We sweep it under the rug, and a lot of it, they're going to say it's because of capacity, which has some to do with it, but at the same time, the reality of it is it's because we're hiring shitty officers.
And you just got
Yeah.
people, no matter how good your officers are, you got criminals who get off on doing that. I mean, it's the nature
Right.
of the beast. But the thing is they are the people they have babysitting these people is the same as I say that's babysitting the people in state hospitals. They can't get jobs anywhere else. A lot of them. Some of them really like it, and some of them are really good. But they do not hire quality people to care or manage these people.
Absolutely.
And a lot of these people don't have. And once again, I'm not everybody is a Einstein. But you have to work within your brain capacity and your ability to reason and your ability to think and foresee issues and all of that stuff. And let me tell you, most of them can't.
Exactly. And the other issue is a lot of officers, because we do have access to see, why this person is incarcerated, what they did. And sometimes we even have access to the probable cause affidavit.
Mm-hmm.
And we read all of that. Now they hate this person. You can't do that. That's not your job. Your job is not to judge this person. And I can tell you, me personally, that's the hardest thing I've ever had to do is look pure evil in the eyes and remain calm and still
treat
get
them
them
with
exactly
respect.
what they need. And treat them with respect, get them what they need, and make sure that they are safe and that they are healthy and that they are okay. But that's my job.
But Carmen,
And a lot of people can't do that.
You're right, they can't. But Carmen, don't you think that comes from higher up?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't you think that comes from? I mean, like, let's look at no matter what anybody thinks about Richard Allen, right? Guilty, innocent, not guilty, whatever. Okay. I guess guilty and innocent is the same as innocent is the same as not guilty. Anyways, no matter what you think, okay. And yes, there are people out there that think that he did this horrible thing, and so he deserves whatever he gets. But our laws state that they don't. And that Gallipo, that warden should be brought up on charges.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's disgusting to think about because I've been
It's
there.
not
I've
just
been
Gallipo.
no, it's not. But it's the fact that staff and correctional officers and all the way up to the warden was allowed to do what they did is appalling. It gives the rest of us a bad name. And it is absolutely appalling. And I hope they press charges.
Can I say something real quick? I want to say this, that, and Carmen, I have a lot of respect. I know I've just met you. Hi, Carmen.
Yes, a lot of respect.
I'm Jenny, but I just want to say I have a lot of respect for you and for the job that you do. It's apparent that you love your job. I come from a long line of family of law enforcement in city and county and state. So the thing for me is I heard someone say recently, and I can't remember which trial it was, QB, maybe you can remember, but I heard one of either a prosecutor or defense saying something about, when police decide to be police officers, they are doing it because they're helpers. Now that I think about it, it was Andrea Burkhart. She was talking about police officers choosing to be police officers because they're just naturally helpers. And I disagree with that. Some of them, yes, the good ones. But then I think, and I know for a fact, that there are some police officers, or not just in the police, as police officers, but other law enforcement, no matter what division, do it because they want power.
Power. It's absolutely power.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's exactly.
It has nothing to do with wanting to help somebody or do the right thing or to make the world a better place. It's all about, oof, I want to have power. So let me just become a police officer and then I can do what I want.
Exactly. And a lot of people do that, and it doesn't matter how many background checks we give them. It doesn't matter how many interviews we give them.
Psyche
Like,
valves.
I just went through the most brutal background check to get a certain type of clearance with the government, and but there's still people that all they want is power, and they still slip by.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking, because it's like,
Look,
this is not what we're about.
Never does anything wrong.
Oh, exactly.
Well, I mean,
And it's
look at Sarah Boone. She excels at everything.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm not an
It
officer.
has no flaws, Sarah Boone.
I'm so glad I'm not an officer in that jail with Sarah Boone. I don't know if I can handle that.
That one would test your resolve to be to forget what they've done and treat them as a
I think
human
I would
being.
just be,
I'm sorry.
yeah. I think
By
I
the
would
way,
just be
everybody
tired.
everybody in the chat gets a Pop-Tart on me.
Yay! Are they
This
banana
chat. What about us in the panel? I want a
Yeah,
Pop-Tart.
everybody gets a Pop-Tart.
Thank you.
True crime? Do you don't have them there, do you, or you just have the basic ones?
We have
One for you, and
the
one for you,
jam,
and one for
chocolate,
you.
and caramel.
Yeah, you just have the basic. Man, we got Pop Tarts over here.
You need to send me some QB.
Yeah, y'all need to be sending me some here to Canada too, because
My favorite right now is banana nut, and it is so freaking good.
I am
Dr.
gonna. So I
Goldberg's
just
like,
saw
now I
this.
want a Pop Tart.
I just saw this in the chat. Somebody said, "How brutal?" Because I may be going through that. It's brutal. So if you're trying to get, so for me, I just got my top clearance. So it's brutal. If you did something 20 years ago and you breathed wrong 20 years ago, or you blinked twice instead of once, they want to know about it. And so all you got to do, my best advice to you, full disclosure, don't try to hide anything.
Everything.
Don't try to, make some, just say what it was. And if something happened, say when, where, who was there, everything, all the details that you can possibly give, just give it to them, because they already know.
They're gonna. Yeah. I will tell you that a lot of places, I'm not talking about law enforcement, but I just mean like businesses. A lot of places are much more willing to take a chance on someone who is forthcoming and tells what happened, than those that try to get around it and not put it on their application, or whatever the case may be. And some aren't. Don't get me wrong. Some aren't.
Oh, exactly. And that's what's for where I work, that's what we look for, because you do have access to things that could destroy the country. And
Right.
we just want you to just be honest.
Well, guys, I have a question. I've got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're talking about applications and being honest. Like I said, have an ex-husband in prison, and I'll share that privately. I don't want to share it on YouTube. If we have a private thing without YouTube, I'll share it with y'all. But what gets me when we're talking about applications and honesty and everything, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. I have been honest. I have been boldly honest, and when I used to apply for jobs, say, look, this is who I am. I'm a good worker. I'm a good person. This is what happened. I was never, all right, Carmen, when you investigate somebody, let's just say and I know, Carmen, you and I will have a talk, but we had police, state troopers, sheriff, ICE, and FBI search my home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Carmen, you know how bad that is, right?
That's terrible. Yes.
Yes. I pulled up in the driveway and all these people were there. I thought my husband was dead. And to be thrown down to the ground, guns drawn, and all of that kind of stuff. I know what that freaking stuff is like.
Oh yeah, because that's what we're gonna do. Anybody that shows up, we're pointing a gun in your face, and we're gonna slam the gun on the ground.
I have no animosity to them. They were doing their job. You show up at my house unexpected, you may have one in your face now. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. But the thing is that the victims of all of these families have a horrible thing they have to go through. But I didn't know what my ex was charged with doing. I had no clue. I was innocent in this. I thought we had a great marriage. And unfortunately, when they're investigating one person in the family unit, they're going to investigate everybody before they even jump. I was investigated. People he knew was investigated. Am I not right, Carmen? They know everything. They've done their
They
homework.
know. I'm not joking. If you blinked twice instead of once 20 years ago, they know that.
Right.
Like,
So
it is insane the amount of information that they know.
and you can be totally honest with people and businesses and the government and everybody else, but there's always going to be guilt by association. And this is
Exactly.
where
And that's something they have
Oh.
relaxed on that a little bit.
well,
So
no,
that's
but
what
it's
I was
not fair
telling
to
you
my
about my
son.
friend,
It's
my coworker. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
Oh
Go
no,
ahead.
you're fine. I just don't always hear when you start talking. Takes me a minute for my hearing aids or my sound to catch it. My children, if wanted to go in the military, this would haunt them. If they wanted to be an officer or go into any kind of secret service or do anything that required any clearance, there is no way, snowball's chance in hell, they would ever get it because of their connection of who their father was. Doesn't matter if he killed somebody, if he stole from a bank, if it was a financial crime. It doesn't matter what the crime is. We will always be guilty by association, just like all the people who are in court, like that officer who killed the judge, or any of these people. The families are going through hell, and people have no respect for the family, the wife, the husband. To me, it's in the children.
Mhm.
It is so devastating, and in some ways, it's worse for them because they can't move on. For the rest of my life, against my will and my wishes, I am labeled, and I can't get a job anywhere. I have to be creative. But
Right.
the thing is that the social media, and you will never see it on my live stream, attacking the family.
Oh no, because
And
they're the people that get it the absolute worst.
and the thing is I to this day can go to the grocery store, and 50-50 chance somebody's going to say, "Oh, isn't your husband so and so?" And it's been
So actually,
15,
I can
16
relate to that.
years.
Now that I live in Texas and I don't know anybody here, basically besides you and Ronnie.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Indiana, I had a friend. We were very, very close. We sat beside each other every single day in school. Our school let us leave to go to lunch if we wanted to. So we always went to lunch together. After school, we always hung out with each other. But one day I woke up and his name was being broadcasted across the news.
Yep.
He did it. I mean, he's already told me he did it. And it was hands down one of the worst. And I've seen a lot of crimes. Hands down the worst crime I've ever seen in my life. It dealt with a 14-month-old baby.
Holy cow, that's tough.
Things that they did was unspeakable crimes and unspeakable acts. And there was a long time in Indiana that just because him and I are really good friends, that I got cast down for that. And I'm like, I would never do that. And it was just because I was friends with him. I didn't know he was doing those things. And it sucked.
Horrible.
Well, I really want to commend Ronnie. She had stated this, it's true, and the criminal doesn't have to face the public because they're locked up. The family does. Do you know what? That is something I have screamed from day one. I drove home that day he was convicted and faced a community that either believed he didn't do it, and I was thrown under the bus and didn't know it. He accused me of doing it. And of course, that's one thing that Carmen knows is that if the feds and everybody thought I was a part of it, I would have been arrested right there with them.
Absolutely.
But the judge even told them she would have been here with him. But I came home and faced the media. I came home and faced the name calling. The one that came home and had manure lit on fire in bags and thrown on my door, my car broken into, my house broken into. I was assaulted sexually. I I verbally assaulted in the middle of the grocery store. My kids came home and dealt with it. And he was behind the confines of a prison and never came back to this community. He's out and he's living in another community. Be it, it's not easy for him. I understand that. But do you know what? You were charged, you were found guilty, you legally committed the crime, whether you say you did or didn't. We're all innocent in this, and we have to face your shame, your guilt, and all of the anger and everything from the community, right, wrong, or indifferent, was dumped on me. And then
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
blamed because I cried in public, or I had a moment of a little meltdown because I couldn't handle the pressure of losing a home, losing his business, losing my identity, 2.5, 3 years without my children because of him, and have to face 15 years of the community's bullshit.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly how it was with my friend that went to prison. I'm not rightfully so. He should have went to prison. That was bad. But his mom, did she do anything?
No.
But did she get the repercussions of
Oh,
everything?
she raised
Absolutely.
a criminal. You don't raise a criminal. Well, some people may, but in general, you don't. And the thing that pisses me off about all of this is it handicaps the families for life. And so many people and so quick to sit here and blame the parents and judge, like Karen Reed's parents sitting there supporting her. I supported my husband, and I said this, and I'll say it again. I married this man for better, for worse, richer, for poorer, sickness, and health. Now, if you show me the evidence, show me the freaking evidence before trial, which they did not. If you show me the evidence you have and I see it and I believe he's guilty, I would have been freaking gone. But until I see evidence to show me he's guilty, he's innocent. He's my husband. I never would have thought he could have done what he was accused of. Don't get mad at me for supporting him until I know different. Until I know
that's
different.
how it was. That's exactly how it was with my friend. I mean,
Yeah.
it went years. He was already convicted, and then finally, I asked my boss, because technically I'm not really supposed to talk to people that are incarcerated without approval. So I asked my boss if I could send him a letter, and he approved it. And it wasn't until, even after everything was thrown in my face, like the evidence, and it wasn't until he told me that he did it.
I'll be
I
right
actually
back.
was like,
Keep
okay.
talking. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
So, but yeah, a lot of people don't understand. I mean, take Delphi, Richard Allen's wife and his kids and stuff. They're the ones getting the brunt of this. And whether he did it or whether he didn't, I personally don't think that he did it. But yet they're the ones that have to suffer. And that's the sad part.
It is sad. I kind of wish that they could just, move away and move to the farthest corner of the world, if they can, and
Then
start
even,
over.
yeah, but then depending on the case, no matter where they go, it follows them because
Right, it
somebody's
does.
going to know about it.
It does. But I think that, at least you would probably be able to go to the grocery store and not have everybody in every aisle look at you like they do in the little bitty town like Delphi,
Right. And
But you're right. It would follow them eventually.
But that you are right also in the fact that it is a little bit better because Kyle, I'm not going to say his last name, but Kyle, my friend that did what he did, his mom, like, she couldn't go to a grocery store. That's a small town.
Mhm.
Everybody knows you. I mean, people vandalize their vehicles, vandalize their house, set their house on fire. She didn't do it. He did.
Right.
And it's just so sad to see people's reaction that they can't just focus on the one person that actually did it. They want to scrutinize like absolutely everybody.
Yeah. Like his mom is linked to him in a criminal, you know what I mean? Not that she is. I'm just saying that whenever they look at you, the mother, they're looking at her in disgust because of her son, what her son did. And that's not right.
Right. And I mean, and I got, like I said, I didn't get near where she got, but I got a lot of crap just because him and I are friends. I still get crap to this day because him and I talk to one another. And he's all I got. Like I'm all he has. Like none of his family talk to him anymore. Do I think that crime is, I can't wrap my head around why somebody would do that. But that doesn't mean I'm still going to treat you like a human, just like I do everybody else. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I don't condone it or anything of that nature. But I'm going to do what I do with every single person I deal with every single day. I'm going to still treat you like a human. And I just it's not for me to condemn them.
Yeah.
Excuse me, can I say one thing? I know I've been quiet for a really long time. I've been taking it all in. First, I have to say, Carmen, you're really amazing.
Yeah.
And I've been listening, and I just think it's amazing. If I had the ability to do what you do, man, wow. I really do. I think it's really cool. I have to say, we put people in prison. I happen to not believe in the death penalty. I know that we're not getting political. I'm just saying personally myself, my own personal beliefs in my own heart. That's how I feel. But if we're not going to unalive every single person that we convict of a crime, and we do put people in prison, we don't unalive every single person that commits a crime. If we do that, then they're still alive, they're still human beings. They have to be able to form friendships. That we can't expect people to never have friends again just because they're criminals. So it's not realistic to expect that they're going to be completely alone for the rest of their lives. They have to be able to form relationships. I just think it's a shame that we're not able, like we condemn people forever for everything.
I agree with that. And the other, like, to build on top of that, when it comes to the death penalty, in the United States, if our rate wasn't as high as what it is on false convictions, I would feel more strongly about it. Like, I feel more strongly about the death penalty. But we have a super, outrageous percentage of people that are wrongly convicted.
Yep.
For example, in Texas, as of right now, Melissa Lucio, I think's her last name. 2 days. She's supposed to be executed in 2 days.
2 days.
And the judge just said, the judge just came out and said she didn't commit the crime.
Yeah.
But is it going to overturn it? Let's see.
I don't think he will.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the governor goes ahead with it.
Exactly.
What was the guy's name that they just executed?
What was that? Because he had like 16 minutes or something left that he got a pardon for just a moment, and then the judge or the governor overturned it again.
I
what
feel
was his
sick
name?
in my stomach. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, I can't either. I can't either.
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name.
The victim's family said no. The DA said no. All they asked for was just a little bit more time, and they executed that man. You can't undo that.
Exactly.
What would waiting another week or 2 weeks have mattered? I don't understand.
Hey, Toxic, real quick. Dan Fertel, he's always in my chat, wanted to know if he could be on the panel.
Sure, have him come on over.
I don't know how to do that. What do I do?
Is he in?
He's in my chat.
First of all, is he a member? You have to drop the link
Dan, are you a member of
to the Discord?
Are you a member of Discord? And one of my mods, can you drop the link? Dan, are you on Discord? Please let us know. I'm kind of on the ball. I'm kind of on the fence with death penalty. I do believe that there's some crimes that definitely deserve it. I don't like the fact
I
that
think repeat offenders after, a 3-strike
yeah,
count, that's it, and that has to go with anybody who rapes a woman, pedophiles, all of that stuff. Bye. See you later.
well, the thing is,
And the problem is they're letting these repeat offenders out.
well,
They're letting them out and they're re-offending.
and not only are they letting them out, they live for
They're
20 and
not
30
even
years before the execution is happening. And I'm like, it costing us millions and millions and millions of dollars. You know what? If you're not going to execute within a certain time of the last appeal, like within 2 weeks of the last appeal, instead of 20 years of the last appeal, then put them in for life. It would be cheaper because then you don't have to worry about paying for the additional appellate issues. It just frustrates the hell out of me. We got to have a better system. It costs us so
Angela
much
has
money.
a question. Angela has a question. She said death penalty, but not one. No, I mean I think she means no one convicted, but kill when found. There's a mass murderer, may have been reclassified as a serial killer now, that is on the loose, and word on the street is that police has an order to kill him when they find him.
I think the order may be a
Yes.
self-defense order, and that can be perceived however they wish.
Yeah.
I was in
Armed
fear
and
of my
dangerous. That's
I-
what that really means is, hey,
Free
no
game.
holds bar.
I just wanted to say one more thing. I'll mute myself. I'll stay mute
No.
probably for the rest of the time.
No.
I have multiple reasons for being against the death penalty. First and foremost are my own religious views on it, but I agree with Carmen that there are too many people
Mm-hmm.
that are coming out that were that we find out are being exonerated now via a DNA or whatever it is, or coming off death row. That's happening too often, and you can't undo once we
Execute.
someone. That's a done deal. You can't undo that. But then my third reason is that I find that that penalty is unevenly applied to people. We find that it's more applied to one group of people versus another group of people.
Okay.
To one socioeconomic group versus another. The prosecutor may seek it in one case but not another. It depends. So if it's not going to be sought in all cases, if it's not going to be evenly applied, I don't know. That doesn't seem very fair to me. So for all of those reasons, I don't see that it's very fair. Anyway.
If you have somebody like, let's just say Sarah Boone, if you have someone like her who photographed it, we know for sure that she did it. If it's a sure thing, then the death penalty, I'm not too difficult with it. But if it's something like you're saying, I believe that the err on the side of caution. I don't think it should be used very freely. Did y'all hear about the lady who served almost, what was it, 60 years in prison and got released and her conviction reversed? By the way, Ron is saying he's in here and he's trying to get in. I don't know how to help him. But anyway, did y'all
as
hear
you
about
may
her?
On the Sarah Boone, like you were just talking about, Ada K, I think that would be easy because we all know Sarah Boone, and you know, but let's just say it was a different person, and the battered spouse syndrome was a thing with her. and she was still found guilty. But, you know, a lot of us believe that she really, not that I don't believe Sarah Boone was anything other than Sarah Boone and did her Sarah Boone thing. But I'm just saying, devil's clavicle or devil's advocate. I say devil's clavicle.
Devil's
It's funny, but you know, devil's clavicle. What if, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, I think Sarah Boone did it. I'll just flat out go ahead and say that. But I look at statistics across the United States, and between 4 and 6% of people are wrongfully convicted. That doesn't seem like a big number, and so you break it down.
It is.
That means, and that's a year. That's 55 to 100,000 people within the United States that are wrongly convicted each and every year.
Well, what I'm saying is, what I'm saying with the Sarah Boone is, I'm not talking about the domestic violence side of this. I'm just saying, if someone is filmed or there's irreversible proof, I can't say that word, that they did it. You know they did it. It's filmed. They did it. It's for sure they did it, and it's so heinous. Then maybe the death penalty should be applied. Otherwise, I'm err on the side of caution.
That's exactly how I feel, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying this, which is fine. If it's beyond a reasonable doubt, you know, just like you are on video, you did this. There's no way around it. You did it. Take him out back and do what you gotta do.
That's how I feel about McKinley Louisma, that with this case against the Melody, what's her last name?
Ferris? Melody Ferris.
No, not that Melody. The other, the
talking about
the Louisma.
Oh,
yeah. His name is McKinley Louisma. The guy, I think he was from the Caribbean. The girl that he killed was his girlfriend. This just happened. This trial just ended.
Yeah.
And they labeled her as intellectual intellectual disability.
Yeah.
And you know, he's the kind of guy that I think you could take out back and let the firing squad have their
you mean like
their day.
Like Ronnie said, Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, like I said, save some tax dollars here. If you can say beyond a reasonable doubt, like you 110% did this, save some tax dollars. But I also, with Dr. Hoffman, I do agree with, I'm not going to change, I'm not going to turn this into a religious thing. I do have my religious aspects where I don't agree with that. But as a human, take them out back. If you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt, me, you, and everybody else in the world shouldn't have to sit here and pay our tax dollars for your crime.
Okay, guys, here's a question.
I agree with Carmen, but I think also they should go the way they did the crime.
Exactly.
They should go. They should, like, for example, if you stab them to death, you should go back stabbed to death. If you shot them, you should be shot to death. If you did whatever you did, you should go exactly the same way you did the crime. Just saying.
You should feel how it felt. An eye for an eye.
I'm sorry. I know we're not like back in Israel or whatever the time was that you gave an eye for an eye, but I think it should be like that. You just if you do a murder, you should go the same way you did the other person.
If we had more men, well, some women, but in general, more men being punished by the means of sexually assaulting them because that's what they did to unalive their female victims, I doubt we'll be having a whole lot more of them doing it. It's just absurd to me that you can force yourself intimately on a woman and get 2 years sodomite. I mean, whatever you want to call it. And you just get 2-3 years. If it's done to you the way you did it to them, I doubt you would ever do it again.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I'm just saying, if someone tries to do that
off.
to me, I'm sorry. I'm going to make you a woman. I'm going to chop that shit off.
Yeah, well, you can try. Definitely it's worth a try.
I'm joking.
But what gets me is that what some of the things that people aren't thinking of when they imprison people for life, I mean, for death penalty, and then they serve almost a life sentence before it happens. Our prisons are becoming geriatric wards because there's so many people aging out in prison. And now our prisons are becoming more of a psych hospital because there's not enough differentiation between the psych ward, you know, the mental crimes. It's just a cluster bleep is all it is. It really is. And Carmen, I think you can agree with me on that. And our tax dollar money is going. It is an average. Am I wrong, Carmen? An average of $1 million a year for a death penalty person.
Wow.
And that's not, yeah, and
minimum.
That's just that stuff. That's not including everything else it's going towards. And I mean, we're up to, I think, over $1 billion a year of what is spent with prisons. Any county will tell you that their highest
Budget.
cost is basically their jail. And I can, like, things that I deal with every day is I should not give what we call them parolees a cell phone, cash, clothes. Here you go. You just committed a horrible crime, but
You
we say
leave
it's
with
okay.
$55 and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but that's also where the tax dollars go. Is stuff towards that, but with the death penalty and stuff, absolutely, people pay an absolute outrageous amount because of somebody that they've never even met that is on death row.
But see, some of these people, and I'm not going political, but some of these immigration people who've come across and getting these life sentences or long-term sentences or even death penalty sentences who are immigrants and I don't care what country. It is costing us so much more money that it really is difficult.
And that's why I was saying they're not getting political, obviously, but that's why I was saying if you do the crime, get convicted, you get shipped back to your country and serve it there.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I wish we had agreements with other countries that we are on good terms with, that if someone does a crime here, this is what they've done. We have found them guilty. Will you enforce or at least do the minimum of what we enforce? You can add on to it. But I mean, we need to, I don't know. I don't have the answer, but that's
because
above my pay grade.
They definitely don't want to serve time in like a Brazilian or Paraguay or
Mexico.
Venezuela jail. They want the comfiness of, well, even though it's not probably comfy. I don't know. I've never been in a jail in America. I can't speak, but
some of them are
hotels.
hotels.
The American jails are more comfortable than the Venezuelan ones, for sure.
Definitely. Even the Mexico jails. And then in Mexico, your family pays for your stuff. The citizens don't pay for your food. You either got to find a hustle or you got to have someone bringing it in or you don't live.
Exactly. It's Mexico as well, yeah. So they prefer staying here, do the crime in here, and then stay here because they will get comfortable. They'll get all the amenities that they don't get back in Mexico or whatever they are.
Kristen,
that's a great. Oh, I'm sorry, I just overstepped Ada
No,
K's.
go
I was
take
watching Ada K's chat.
Take it.
And Kristen has a great point.
Take it. Oh, well, thank you for watching. I just subscribed to everybody that I wasn't already subscribed to. So your number should go up. Go ahead, Crime Cafe. You can have the honor.
Oh, no. I was just no, she's yours. Go ahead. I just like Kristen, other than she doesn't want frosted Pop-Tarts. That's the only issue I have with Kristen.
Well, Kristen is.
I don't want frosted Pop-Tarts
again.
Kristen is hard of hearing.
I thought we could be friends.
I know, right?
If it's going to be frosted Pop-Tarts.
I'll take your frosted. You can have my unfrosted. There, we're friends.
There you go. We're friends share.
Friends
share. Kristen, by the way, is hard of hearing, so she's trying to like me follow, and I appreciate you so much for being here. Oh, what about a college education for criminals, especially those with long sentences or even life sentences? It pisses me off. High school diploma, sure, but my kids can't go to college because basically can't afford it. You know, that frustrates me. I'm having to pay a crap ton of money, sort of, to go to college. I couldn't pay to put my kids. My daughter got scholarships and putting herself, but we have a lot of good youth out there that would possibly become the next president or Supreme Court justice or whatever who can't afford to go to college and never will. But we sit here and pay criminals who want to waste our tax dollars to go to college when they
The one
themselves
thing
have
I don't
zero
understand
hope
with
of
that
seeing the
is
sun a
if they
day.
are serving a life sentence and they have a college degree, where are they going to use that in?
Exactly. Oh, they
Oh,
want to
true
be.
crime.
It's called jail.
Exactly. But
It's
I can tell you from
Where are you
experience.
going to use a degree in psychology if you are stuck in the prison for the rest of your life?
So true. I guess this is the American way. If it makes sense, then we're not going to do it. But if it doesn't make sense, then we are going to do it.
Do you know? Do you know why
I
they
can
want?
say we give them. I like the facilities and stuff that I've worked for. We'll
it
pay all
comes
the way
down
up to
to
your bachelor's.
right?
We will pay all the way up
Regardless
to your
of
bachelor's,
whether
and you can't use it.
They want to be jailhouse
I think
lawyers.
I think what it comes down to is everybody is entitled to the basic rights, and education is that basic right.
Basic education,
I don't
not
know.
higher.
The high school or GED,
Yeah.
but college is not basic. But college, you go if you can afford it or if you get a scholarship, correct?
Do you know
Yeah,
that
I
there's
mean,
people?
education is one thing. Public high school is free. Whenever they decide that they're going to spend all this money on a college degree, though, why should the public pay for that for the criminal to get their college degree when we can't even send our own kids to college?
There's a man.
Exactly.
There's a man in jail who's there for life. 2 life sentences. He will never see the light of day. Didn't even
What's
have
the
a
point of getting
GED.
a degree for?
And now he's got a doctorate's degree in psychology, and now he's working on a law degree.
Oh, can we invite Andrew to speak, please? Please, please, please.
What the freak?
But yes, you all every single one of you are right. What is the point? Because I sit here and I have to fill out paperwork and stuff for people that because we recently changed from an associate's degree to a bachelor's. But now that we offer, I'm not gonna say it's stupid because I don't want to get fired.
We don't speak English over here, Carmen. That's fine.
But that's how it is. It's like you can't use it. You're incarcerated for the rest of your life. You don't have parole. You don't have anything of that nature. You did it. But yet we're like, And I look at my partner who is, she's about to finish her master's and she's going into her PhD. And I look at how much we are spending on that. But yet I'm just giving it freely to these people over here.
Yeah.
Well,
and some of them, sadly, are not even American citizens, and they get all the education and everything for what?
well,
They're never going to contribute to society in the correct manner.
guys, here's something that's going to throw your knickers in a knot. First of all, Ronnie said the cost of the border crisis is $150.7 billion and counting. Okay, here's what's going to throw your knickers in a knot.
Wait, how do you know that, Ronnie?
She Googled it, I'm sure.
We didn't disclose that.
But
Ronnie's a spy.
yeah, she's a spy. But I will say this. This is just personal knowledge. I knew someone who was going to med school, and she told me that all right, we have a lot of good people who could go to med school, law school, but they have to find ways to pay for it themselves. They get some scholarships, right? But usually mommy and daddy and other people pay, or they find a way to do it themselves. There are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people coming from all over the world. The main countries are China and the Middle East, okay? But from all over the world that can come in to America, get a free college education to an MD degree. Free. Now they do pay for their boarding, they do pay for food, but they don't pay for the college education and the lab fees and all that themselves. The American government waives that to get them over here, and they get their MD degree and then they leave and go back to their country. They don't even stay to serve off their education here. They don't work for 10 years or 5 years here and then go back. They come here and get a free freaking education. And a lot of them, and some of them, and I won't tell you how I know, commit heinous crimes against women while they're here, trafficking, and utilize it and get their MD degree, and then they go back home, leaving us, the taxpayers, to pay for their education. But we can't give our kids more scholarships, but we're giving free education to non-citizens all over the world to come here to be MDs. What the hell?
That's the good old American way. It's stupid. That's how we work.
I have to say something, by the way. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
What's
I'm
up?
happy that Hi. I've been here for a while, but only now I could join. I wrote in the chat earlier regarding the prisoners that get college degrees. I follow this guy on Instagram and on YouTube. He is a former, well, he did 20-ish years in prison, armed robbery, I believe. And he got a college degree while in prison. He was in prison, I think, Virginia, or somewhere around there. And he did not get free college degree. He had help by his family from the outside to get a college degree. And everyone in that prison where he was, if they wanted to get a college degree, they had to help to either pay themselves somehow or get the help from the outside. So it may not be for all prisons in the US that they get a free college degree.
So that used to be, I don't know what year this was, that used to be how it was, especially if you were from overseas.
Not
That
anymore.
America basically said, nope, not paying for it. Now they do. And so, like I said, I don't know what year that was in, but you are 110% correct that they did not do it. Their family had to pay for it, or it had to come from some sort of outside source.
Not anymore. I have a dangerous
Yes, not
question.
anymore.
I have a dangerous question. And it's
Uh-oh.
from my own personal experience.
Sounds fun.
A parent goes to prison and has children. That parent,
Ooh.
the outside parent, non-prisoned parent, gets physical custody, but still does not have full custody because a parent in prison has rights. And the children are forced, no matter what the age, whether they're 1 month old to 10, 15 years old, to go to prison to visit that parent. What are your thoughts on, because it's one thing I learned is that the inmate has more rights than the other person does. The inmate has more rights and control and can manipulate from prison by using a lot of different things such as social services or other connections to bind that parent, keeping them in litigations, mediations, and bankrupting that parent who's trying to raise the child. What are your thoughts on children being forced to go into prison for visitation rights?
I will speak first on the fact that I cannot speak about that right now because we do have a case going on. I can't form my opinion on that.
That's okay.
Right.
I figured that would be your answer.
Can I throw in a wrench?
Yeah.
In Spain, there is actually children that live in prison with their parents that are incarcerated.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I kind of have a problem with that because they're
I was
being
just gonna
raised
say,
as a
You know what, in
normalcy.
America, there's as well that people, the women that go to prison or jail when they're
Women
pregnant.
who are pregnant in the States are able to have their babies
But they're
and
only
keep them
allowed
in
their-
jail. But they have to not have a violent, they cannot have like a
Right.
violent
But they can't
thingy.
stay after a certain age, like 2 or 1.5. I mean, there's a limit of staying.
Yeah.
But my thing is that forcing, being made as a parent by legal boundaries to be forced to drive your child to a prison, walk in and go through all of the rigmarole, the filth, the security.
Oh, especially when the inmates are being moved and they get moved further and further away. I don't think it's right.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't-
I had to
yeah.
drive once a month, almost 4 hours once a month, one way. And I did stipulate he had to find a way to pay for gas. But if I wanted to get a hotel room because I was too tired to drive home, all of that was on me. But being forced to take
Yeah.
your child into a prison environment and normalizing it, and it's filthy, it's loud, it's dirty, you've got disgusting people there, you've got some nice people there. But the point is that where are my rights? I didn't commit a crime. They did. Why do I have to be forced to do something that as a parent I'm adamantly against?
Well, and I
There's-
think that could be like life changing or life altering for a young child to have to witness that sort of.
Yeah, it can
you know,
cause trauma. It
and I
can
honestly,
go their
I
face.
Do you
I
know?
could see complete like PTSD being brought on from that.
A severe
Yeah, I think-
anxiety has what it's caused, but let me say this. The fact is that children who have a parent incarcerated, I don't know the number, but has at least a 50% significantly a higher chance of becoming incarcerated themselves. And that pisses me off because it's normalcy. It becomes a normal. It's not fearful. I don't know. That's just where I am. But I'm just like,
But even with those kids who are being forced, it's the same. It's pretty much the same statistic. Kids with a parent on the inside are at the same risk.
Toxic. I just want to say real quick. I've got to jump.
I was
But
actually going to
Toxic,
say the same thing.
Thank you. For being
Thank you
here.
so much, Toxic, for inviting
Didn't
me
work.
and for thinking of me. I appreciate it. It was so good to meet all of you guys. I'm honored to be here. So thank you so much.
It was nice to meet
Thank you so much for coming. We're gonna do it again.
All right.
Nice
Toxic,
to meet you.
I was waiting for a chance to jump in. I got to go too because my kiddos just left my grandpup and she's in there howling and causing a whole. She's having an existential crisis. So,
No, I was going
Honored
say
to
the
meet
same
you.
thing. I'm getting death stared by my partner because I'll be gone all weekend because I have to work.
Bye,
I also have to jump off here.
Bye.
Yeah,
I'm just coming on.
we'll
to
definitely
say
do this again.
I love y'all. And I have to go too, but I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for listening to me and not yelling at me. I really appreciate it. I'm usually the minority in the group. I'm used to that. That's usually where I land on things anyway. But I really appreciate not being yelled at. Anyway, I loved it. I loved listening to all of you. I can't wait to do it again.
All of y'all are
Absolutely.
welcome. All of you are welcome to hop onto my channel anytime. Anytime. And please just let me know.
I'll probably hop on your channel next weekend because as it stands at the moment, I have next weekend off. That could change
Yay!
at any point in time, but I'll probably
Yeah.
pop in there next weekend.
No problem. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you,
All right,
Toxic.
thank you everybody for joining, and I appreciate all of you for being here.
It was awesome. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everybody
Have
good
a
weekend.
great
Be
evening,
safe.
folks.
Bye.
Be safe.
Go to
Bye.
bed. It's bedtime in the UK.
Good night. Sweet sleep.
Bye.
Bye.
What did you guys think about that? Oh my gosh, that was awesome. I think we're going to do that more often. Yes, this live will have to be demonetized. I'm already working on it. We talked a lot about a lot of hard things, and that's what sometimes happens. But I really appreciate all of y'all for joining. I really do. Y'all are simply amazing. I can't believe we've been on the whole time I'm supposed to be working. I had the shop today, but we're going to be talking a lot about a lot of different things tomorrow. Yeah, I didn't monetize this video because I knew we were going to get into topics I couldn't. Oh, well, thank you for moving over here. I appreciate you. You know, this was something, like I said, that it was not planned for me. Thank you, Haley Mouse. You too. And I cannot tell you how blessed I am. It's not only opened my eyes and educated me. Actually, I didn't decide to go to college until after starting this channel. Uh, Saturday Live, mine are Sunday Live. I did see regarding the paper. I did see that. Thank you, love. I have an associate's degree as a deaf support specialist with a focus on interpreting. And that degree, I had almost 100 hours credit in to get that. Well, thank you, Katina. I wanted to go back to college, but I was scared and I didn't know what to do. And this made it very clear my path. My goal is to be in the criminal system working with the disabled people. There are some people that are disabled that get taken advantage of or do not have a fair shake at trial because of accommodations that were not done, etc. So that's kind of my goal. And there's some ADA laws that I'm going to start looking at. In fact, we have a FEMA case that just popped up I need to dive into. Another commentator did a show about it. I want to look into that. But one of the things is providing better access, and that's what I hope to do. I wish I had more interpreters that would be willing to donate their time to come on and interpret some of these trials, because it's super hard for me to run the show and interpret at the same time. I am looking for somebody who will be willing to come into my StreamYard and run StreamYard for me while I interpret. There's a parrot on my head for anyone who wants or needs to know. Off topic, I know. Oh, that's okay. But I have to say that Angelina, you rock. Catatina, you rock. Kristen, everybody who joined us on the live, y'all are awesome, and I appreciate it. We do need to arrange a stream together. Just reach out to me. I will be happy to. I have some fabulous mods, and I greatly appreciate it. One of my newer mods is Dr. Bullbutter. She is in charge of the Discord. So if anybody has a Discord issue, please reach out to Dr. Bullbutter. I wanted to just say I got a package while we were doing live from my sponsor, and she sent me a cup. Hey, I love them. I go through them. I use a lot of them. I really want to hear this. I really want to hear this. Sunday night, I will be doing a Karen Reed. You can join Sunday night. That's tomorrow night. It's 7 my time. If I need to bump it to 6, I can. But I will be doing a live on, we're going to talk a lot about Karen Reed. There's a lot of stuff that's hit. I want to really dive into that. I think I asked a question of the panel. Do they think they can look at this case with fresh eyes and not when it goes back to trial? I have learned, I guess, through my life's experiences to be able to lay down everything and look at it with fresh eyes. I think I can. I know that I did not feel that the prosecution proved their case. I'm not going to say whether she's innocent or guilty. Only she and God knows where her innocent or guilt lies. But that said, I don't feel that the prosecution proved their case. That's where I was. I enjoyed the panel guests and the lives. Yeah, I do too. And I love having people on my show. Love having people come on. I do better when I have someone to banter with. Oh, that's cute. So I'm sorry, Ron, that you were not able to get on. I'm just not versed in Discord enough to help you. Thank you, Ronnie, so much for trying to help him. But I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I think I'm scared to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to take a little wee bit of a break, and then I'm going to disconnect everything I have here and try and get my ATM working again. I'm going to attempt to get everything. And my wires are a hot mess. Everything's a hot mess. So I'm in the mood to try and get everything reconnected. Also, I've got a TV somebody gifted me. I need to try and figure out where I'm going to put that TV so I can use that as another type of monitor. So I'm going to be up to eyeballs in cords in a little bit. So everybody, if you're not home, go home. when you get home, if you are home, love on those that you're around you. Make sure to tell your family you love them. You never know. You never know. This world's a crazy place we live in. Make sure that when you're out in public and you see somebody downcast or having a hard day, just smile. Just smile. That may get them through the day. Yeah, I have to. I've got cords that are so disorganized. I've got 3 monitors, 2 iPads, and all this other equipment, and I've got to maneuver my things around to make this a little more workable for me. Yeah, I've got to clean this up. I've got to. It's not hard. It's just my issue is with my ATM is the program recognizing it. Once the program recognizes it, I might be able to use it better. I got to get it up and running because I can't do what I want to do without it, and that's part of the ASL glitch. So anyway, and I want to get I have a GoPro. It's very, very finicky. I need to get it reconnected because I know y'all like to see my streaming, kind of like what RA does. And I can also possibly do better inbox interpreting with it. So I'm going to work on that. But we will be live. I'm trying to decide. My son told me not to do it, but I don't know. We have 2 trials we're following, the Ibarra trial and the Chloe trial. And did y'all like me bouncing between the 2 during the breaks? Or yeah, that's true. Or should I put 2 separate lives up? That's what I got to decide. That's why I need the switcher, because if I put 2 separate trials up at the same time, 2 separate lives, both of the sounds from both courts are going right in my ears and I can't distinguish. But if I have the switcher up, then I can mute it and have it going out to y'all. So the next on Ada K show, we're going to watch Ada try to untangle herself from a bunch of wires. That may happen. That's funny. I got high views on the last time I had that problem. So we'll figure it all next week, but I will be here at 7:30 Monday morning, 7 o'clock Sunday night. And I do have to get one thing of homework done before Sunday night. So with that, farewell, rest well, love on your family, and we will see you tomorrow night, Lord willing. Lord willing. Everything working and in order. You might see me doing some test streams. Okay, guys? Y'all are awesome. You're all my favorites, and I appreciate you so much. Have a great Saturday night. Stay safe.
Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.